Hello everyone and welcome. I hope you're all doing well, and today, on the day of the Super Bowl, we're going to be here with a Gotrek and Felix 2v2 tournament. So this is the series, in case you guys haven't seen it before. It's kind of like Sub-Commanders in a way, in that each player, so normally when you play on ladder, the total funds that one player is going to be getting is 12,400. However, in this tournament, it's a 2v2 tournament to make it a little bit more watchable and yeah, just easier to cast, I guess. Each player is going to be having 6,200 gold in total, so it kind of makes each player have to like specialize in something. For example, one player might want to get most of the cav or really accentuate the strengths of their faction to work best with whatever their opponent picks. So we do have the Green Tide and the Vermin Tide facing off against the Spooky Boys. So we have the Vampire Counts and the that's a nasty one. Vampire Counts and Vampire Coast is a very, very tough composition to beat. Yeah, welcome guys, welcome. Yeah, who needs a Super Bowl? We're here. It's time. It's time. Welcome guys. And yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at the tail of the tape for today and look at our competitors. We do, of course, have the Auto Generates, which is going to be Lore Master of Sotek and Professor Pone facing off against Shetland on Occasion, which is going to be none other than Shetland Apache and Janet on Occasion. So definitely going to be fun seeing those guys in action. And if you guys haven't seen Janet on Occasion's channel, make sure to check him out. There will absolutely be a link in the comment section below after the tournament. And then the next ones are going to be, oh man, he told me how to say this, but I actually did not see the message until just now. But Hitiroi, I would guess. And that's going to be Falcon and Zardar Total War, who's also a YouTuber, and Taco Lizard, who's going to be Gojira, and let me see here, I believe Reptile King. Yes, it's go time. It's going to be fun, guys. So these are best of threes in terms of 2v2s. The finals are going to be best of 5. And I'll let the guys know they can start when they're ready. So first one is going to be Skaven and Greenskins. Now it's going to be Shetland Apache and Janet facing off against Professor Pone and the Lore Master of Sotek. I'm quite eager to see how they deal with, you know, the spookiness of this composition, right? Because you're just going to have so many summons. I mean, the Vampire Counts front line with like Mortis Engine play could be really nasty against Greenskins. I mean, Greenskins and Skaven really have trouble here. I would think that maybe playing some sort of a kitey build with a ton of skirmishers and things like that could be very, very strong. Let's see. Turin, our name is Dr. Robot. Yeah, you guys didn't send me your name, so I had to make one for you, Janet. I'm sorry. I already set it up and all the graphics and everything. Oh my god. Yeah, Dragon Overlord, I did see that meme you made. It was quite funny. Yeah, definitely gave me a good chuckle. So yeah, I'm really eager to see how the Greenskins are going to do this. I have a feeling we could see someone like, maybe like an Azag, or, one second, I'm having some allergies today, so I might just randomly sneeze. And if I do, my apologies for your ears here. Yeah, Zardar, I just saw that. I just saw the thing, and I haven't gotten a chance to listen to it, so I was so busy setting everything up. Yeah, interesting picks. I wish I could show you, but I don't want to like open up the opportunities for like stream sniping and whatnot. So, but it's gonna be good. I mean, Skaven do have some decent tools. I think like if the Skaven got like maybe like 2 Warp Lightning Cannons and a couple like skirmishers across the map and just tried to pull them apart, I honestly think that would be one of the best ways to play. Just trying to pull them apart. Don't take that in straight engagement. And of course, high mass monsters can be pretty good. Granted, Vampire Coast does have access to a lot of powder, so it really depends on what Lore Master of Sotek decides to go with. I mean, but he could just go Blitzy. They could just go like Death Guard and a Mortis Engine and just get in there and get down and dirty, because this is like going straight for the throat, playing the Vampire Counts and Vampire Coast. And I was also talking to Romulan Dog, who's helping me with some rules. So in the, yeah, Romulan likes the rules, the name I made for them. But we were talking about some rule changes. So after this week, depending on how things go, we're probably going to have some rule changes for the Gotrek and Felix League. Kind of limiting summons and perhaps single entities and things like that. We're not sure. We're going to see how today goes. Today's still the Wild West, so anything goes, which is kind of fun in its own right. So we're going to see if it kind of how it goes. YouTuber Warhammer tournament greater than American version of football tournament. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'd rather watch an esports tournament all day. And I played American football for 7 years. It was like a major part of my life. But honestly, it's like, I don't know. There's nothing quite like stuff like this. So let me go ahead and get rid of the screen blocker here. We're good. All right, showtime. So here we are in game 1, which is going to feature a showdown between the Greenskins and the Skaven and the Spooky Boys. So this is definitely going to be nice for casting purposes, because I'm going to be able to easily acknowledge, like, you know, it's the people, the living factions versus the dead ones here. But for the Skaven, it looks like they have a ton of Skaven slaves. Oh my goodness. So Janet on Occasion coming in with these Skaven hordes. Look at the numbers. This is like insane. 2,100 to 1,144. So Skaven slaves. On top of that, he has Skaven slave slingers. His entire army is literally slaves. On top of that, he has the double assassin plus Lord Skrolk, which is going to be pretty powerful. The assassin's very good at going after some of these, because in 2v2s people often bring footlords, like they could kill that necromancer quick, the 2 assassins if they can catch Heinrich Kemmler or this vampire fleet captain, or Aranessa can do a ton of work. So the Skaven definitely have some tools, and I mean, at the very least, it's going to target things. A lot of sniping potential. You have Azag with Spirit Leech, and then you have the Lord Skrolk with the Liber Bubonicus. That's going to be some really mean burst. So I love the Skaven army here from Janet. Awesome stuff. There's a Night Goblin Shaman. Oh my god, just pure sniping. Azag, Night Goblin Shaman, so we have Spirit Leech and the Vindictive Glare, which I was actually playing in Sotek's tournament the other day. And I literally had... Let me just make sure the screen blocker's gone. I'm just paranoid. Yes, I got it. I literally had my Lord sniped, like, instantly by Night Goblin Shaman. And it was Heinrich Kemmler, too, so we'll see what happens. And for the Greenskins, we have an Arachnaut Queen up in the skies. We do have Azag the Slaughter. Goblin Wolf Chariots. Oh my god, Shetland and Janet just going hard in the paint here. And yeah, 3 Goblin Wolf Chariots in total. We got an Arachnaut Queen, Azag, and the 2 casters. So the Skaven are going to be the meat of the army, but the Chariots, I wonder what kind of things they can do damage to. Oh man, there's actually some really juicy targets here. So for the Vampire counts, they have the Crypt Ghouls in the front line, which will chew through Skaven very quickly, but I mean, it's just slaves mostly. The Chariots will be pretty good against those, and it looks like aside from that, Lore Master of Sotek has Halberds, 2 guns, which are going to be the handguns, definitely a solid choice. Depth Guard back here, Aranessa Assault Spite, who does have the Fisher's Net, and it looks like we're going to have Summons here, Drowned Dead, and of course Heinrich Kemmler has all of his standard abilities, as well as Krell. There's going to be some Scurvy Dogs and Fellbats, Mana Battery Necromancer hiding in the forest, which is always fun, and more Fellbats on the far side of the map. Yes, yes. It's going to be great. So let me let them know. They can start whenever. Start anytime. Professor Bone says, good luck, have fun. I hope we win. I don't know. I'm really excited to see how this Skaven Horde and like the Goblin Wolf Chariots coming in from Shetland Apache will actually be super devastating against these Crypt Ghouls. I mean, it's pretty much the ideal target. These guys do have a bonus versus infantry. Very low armor piercing, but of course ghouls are basically naked. They have like 10 armor, so... Yeah, no, this is game 1, and it's just starting right now. So the Skaven and Greenskin Hordes are going to be advancing on the Undead Boys over here on the far side of the map. And yeah, the Slingers are actually going to be pretty good too. I mean, there's a lot of good targets. The only targets that probably aren't so great are going to be the Depth Guard, and it looks like the Vampire Counts do also have some Blood Knights. So Professor Pone has some Blood Knights hiding in the forest, which I did miss, which could do okay against the Queen. They don't have the best AP, but nonetheless, they could still do pretty solid. So Azag's probably going to come in. I would imagine he's maybe going to start dropping some Spirit Leeches pretty early. I wonder if they're going to go after Heinrich Kemmler, because Aranessa can't be healed since she's not undead, but it looks like there's going to be some gunfire coming in here, so it looks like Shetland Apache does take some very light gunfire, but he's able to get away, and you can tell he wants that Spirit Leech. But yeah, the guns are doing a pretty good job warding him off, so there's no rush, really. I would just stay back. But look at that. The first Vindictive Glare gets a partial hit. It didn't look like it made perfect contact, but it does hit Heinrich Kemmler and do some decent HP damage, and Azag is just licking his chops, just smacking them lips in the back, just getting around there looking for the target. Honestly, sniping Aranessa might be a better choice, although getting rid of Heinrich shuts down all of the magic for the vampires and all the summons, so that might be a better choice actually, but nonetheless, it looks like they're going to be committing to Heinrich Kemmler. The Mana Battery Necromancer in the back has popped his Forbidden Rod. He's definitely stroked it, and over here you can see that Azag's going to be coming around looking to butter the bread of Heinrich. So he's on the hunt, and the Skaven Hordes are coming in, but the Goblin Wolf Chariots coming in, just running over these ghouls. Oh, I love this play. This is amazing. So the Goblin Wolf Chariots running into the back of the Crypt Ghouls, and that's going to do some heavy damage, but you don't want to stay there and get poisoned and shot to pieces. So those little Wolf Chariots, oh my god, look at that. They're just destroying, and they're just going to be reaving through the front line, just riding through these guys. Those golems just got literally deleted by those Goblin Wolf Chariots, but the gunfire in the back causing a lot of problems. But if Shetland Apache could go back there and run over those zombie pirate gunnery mobs, ooh, that would be just so juicy. Skaven Slave Slingers are going to be scooting forward, maybe to hit those guns, but it might be a little bit of a pathing mistake. In the meantime, Azag is going to be fighting Fellbats up in the sky, and he has gotten the Spirit Leech off on Heinrich, who has been blasted by the Goblin Shaman yet again. So Heinrich Kemmler better start using those Invocations of Nehek on himself. And it looks like the Goblin Wolf Chariots have fallen back, and they're probably just going to be cycling into the front line here. And oh man, they're just like methodically killing all of these angry golems here. So the golems are going to be pushing forward, and let's see where the Arachnoc Spider is going to be going. So Spearfisher's Net has gone down, but the Queen itself is going to be a hard counter against Depth Guard. It's really going to take the guns as well as some anti-large from Aranessa to bring down the Spider. Now the Skaven Slaves have jumped in the front line. Azag's a little bit busy with the Fellbats. So very good play here from Lore Master of Zotek and Pone using the Fellbats to attack this, but so far the name of the game has been these Goblin Wolf Chariots. These guys are just running amok. There's going to be a Drowned Dead summon coming in the back. These zombie pirate gunnery mobs are going to be shooting in some pretty decent damage, and the Arachnoc Queen needs to get back. Aranessa's Assault Spite is a very good anti-large lord. The Blood Knights are coming in, and yeah, you do not want any of that. Maybe some spiders in the back could be very good at disrupting, but the Skaven Slave Slingers need to engage, and there's a massive amount of Skaven here that really need to get on those guns and just muck things up. And if Janet is able to get these Skaven Slaves onto the guns in the back line, the Arachnoc Queen should have relatively free range. Now, Heinrich Kemmler, is he still alive? I'm not sure if he is. I might have missed his death. He might have gotten prison shanked. Actually, I bet you what happened is Liber Bubonicus killed him. So I think Heinrich Kemmler may have fallen. Anyways, the Wa has gone down, which is going to make these Skaven slaves into formidable fighters. 32 and 20 now for their respective combat stats, which isn't terrible. And you can see here that the Vampire Fleet Captain is just getting whooped on by these Skaven slaves with the Wa. Wow, do you guys see the burst? Lord Skrolk coming in, and he's going to be dropping some summons. Vampire Fleet Captain going down very quick to Lord Skrolk, and it looks like Heinrich Kemmler did fall, if I'm not mistaken, to the Liber Bubonicus and Spirit Leech combination. And Krell has been summoned. Krell's going in the back line. So the Undead forces are doing a pretty good job, but the Skaven slaves are getting around there. They're mucking up the guns. There's some Skaven slaves who, for the first time I think I've ever seen, are actually confident in combat versus zombie pirate gunnery mobs. Skaven slaves pouring through the front line with the Wa. And the Goblin Wolf Chariots are also disrupting the back line. Now, one thing that could get the Undead back in this game a little bit would be if they could kind of kill Lord Skrolk. But look at this. Skrolk is actually escorted by 2 assassins here. The assassins are going to be doing a ton of damage against Aranessa and her pole dancing. Aranessa isn't the tankiest. She only has 20 armor, and of course with the trophy head, she's going to be very, very squishy. But she's doing those circular attacks and doing okay. So the Mana Battery Necromancer has been pulled up. Of course, Lord Skrolk does have the abilities to summon things as well. And the Arachnaut Queen, once the guns are offline, if the Queen's able to just pile in here, and you can see Aranessa's taking a ton of damage, really just being buttered up by Skrolk and these 2 assassins. So I love this play here from Janet on occasion and Shetland Apache. Very strange army composition that seems to be working pretty well. In the meantime, Goblin Wolf Chariots, there's a couple online here, and there's a couple in the back that are still fighting. I mean, these guns are crumbling. They've been getting run over all day by these Goblin Wolf Chariots, who actually have 66 kills. But remember, guys, Professor Pone does have the Blood Knights. Blood Knights are going to be very good against Chariots, and obviously can get in the back line and cause some problems. But it's really just a pit fight right here. The Arachnaut Queen has come in, Skrolk's come in. The Blood Knights are going to be charging the Spider here, who does have the support of the Summoned Plague Monk. So it's not going to get fully surrounded by the Blood Knights, but I think this is really going to kind of make or break the fight here. Are the Skaven and the Orcs going to be able to finish off Aranessa's Assault Spite? And it looks like the Assassins are just getting in there and dropping the mean prison shanks on her. I mean, the double trophy heads of the Liber Bubonicus, and the fact that they were able to kill Heinrich Kemmler very early with the Spirit Leech, and Azag, of course, is still flying around, just causing massive amounts of problems in the back line. Azag, and that's a lot of stopping power with Liber Bubonicus plus a Spirit Leech and the other ability, what is it called, the Vindictive Glare, doing a ton of work. And the Skaven slaves, look at them, they've gotten around the back, and Jan on occasion with the Skaven slaves are actually like defeating somehow these zombie pirate deckhand mobs. The Skaven slave hordes, I mean, what a great idea for 2v2, right? You have all of these like just cheap, chaffy units. It allows you to almost have like a full-sized army. I mean, yes, they're going to crumble quick, but with the Wa as a force multiplier, damn, that is really strong. So Azag's coming in there, he's basically just pounding this Necromancer, doing huge damage. Aranessa's Assault Spite still holds it on despite the focus fire from the 2 Clan Eshin assassins here, who are getting in there and doing some pretty good work. Skrolk is still alive. He's actually having a mortal combat with Krell here, but Krell, yeah, you gotta be careful. Krell actually does cause terror, but it looks like most of the Depth Guard are actually falling. I think some of the damage and just the numbers of the Skaven were able to do it. So that's gonna be it. That's game 1, and the forces of the Greenskins and the Skaven are able to win that fight. What a battle. Damn, that was an amazing first game. And I really thought that the Undead would just kind of be able to have their leadership just run over that force, but Shetland Apache and Janet on occasion with awesome tactics there. I mean, that was so cool. That was really cool. GG. That's game 1. And I see I did miss a donation for the 100 DKK from the Nico Mueller. Happy to see the Warhammer 2 tournament community growing so fast. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you for the donation, man. And yeah, we're trying our best. Man, what a great game. Those little Goblin Wolf Chariots did work. They killed like 2 or 3 of those Crypt Ghoul units. And look at Janet's army. I mean, it's just straight to business. Just, you know, get that really good leadership kit and just get the slaves to buy time for your allies' forces to do work. Great stuff. And yeah, the Crypt Ghouls, I see them being good against Skaven, and against Greenskins they're not bad, but it seemed like the army was pretty small, and I think there was just too many Skaven just getting up and around and on top of the guns and just mucking things up, which I think was super powerful. So I think that was really the big determining factor there. So that's going to be game 1. So let's go ahead and update the scoreboard here and get the screen blocker back up, and boom. And we're Shetland on occasion are going to be winning game 1. So let's go ahead and get that. Green, yellow, gold score, and boom. And it is a best of 3. It is a best of 3. Game 2. Yeah, the hero snipe plus the numbers. I mean, the fact that Heinrich Kemmler got gooned out so quick was extremely solid. Yeah, that was really good. I bet you like a greenskin front line of Black Orcs plus like Dwarf Thunders in the back would be really nasty. Salty Saxon, thank you for the 10 Canadian dollars. What kind of a dog is that in your picture there? Spirit Leech me, daddy? That's basically what happened. He got Spirit Leeched plus Liebered plus Vindictive Glared. Just all kinds of mean thunder coming down on him, which was pretty crazy. So, yeah, those Goblin Wolf Chariots did a ton of work. Yeah. Yeah. They did a ton of work for sure. So it's going to be Beastmen and the Empire, so very unusual allies facing off against the Warriors of Chaos and the Dinosaurs. Sotek going to his bread and butter. We're going to see what happens here. Definitely liking the armies so far. Interesting stuff, Bob. Interesting stuff. So yeah, for anyone who's just joining, I see that we have some new faces since we showed the brackets earlier. Again, Salty Saxon, thank you for the very generous donation there. The tournament brackets for today is going to be the Auto-Generates, which is the Lore Master of Sotek and Prof. Pone, facing off against Shetland on Occasion, which is going to be none other than Janet on Occasion and Shetland Apache. And of course, Sotek is a YouTuber. Professor Pone does stream occasionally on his channel, and so does Janet. I believe Shetland streams on Twitch. I'll ask him after the tournament. I know. Tough stuff. And then for the next one, we do have Felcon and Zardar Total War teaming up to be facing off against Taco Lizard, which is going to be Gojira and Reptile King. So we definitely have a lot of games in store, and the winners will be going in with the best of 5. Oh, yes. Jason Denny says, thank you, firstly, for the $20 donation. That's very generous. Here's some help for getting Kemmler sniped in a couple seconds in Sotek's tournament. Hey, you're welcome, Jason. You're very welcome. I'm glad that that was entertaining for you, seeing me just get annihilated by the greenskin firepower. And it just happened again, actually, in this match. Yeah. And the players can start anytime. God damn. That I loved that Skaven build. Just like in this kind of sub-commanders format. So basically, each player gets 6,200 instead of the typical 12,400. So kind of like, I love that the Skaven gave them like a massive battlefield. It looked like they had a huge army. And with the WoW, those Skaven actually had like 32 melee attacks. So suddenly it's like, you know what? This isn't too bad. This isn't too bad. Yeah, Dwarfs Greenskins would be fun. I don't know if I have a favorite here. I mean, I feel like... I don't know. I really don't know what to expect. Cool compositions for sure. I think Beastmen and Empire will be an interesting... I wonder if they're going to go with like Mass Cav. Like Centaurs plus like Outriders and Reiksguard and Empire Knights and things like that. That could be pretty interesting. They're going to need some big armor piercing because I'm sure Sotek's going to have like Mazda Mundi on Zlok or something like that. So... Matthew, you're shaking with excitement. Sunday stream. It is the Sunday stream. Wookie's doing good. Yeah, he's in the living room, just hanging out. It's been raining like really, really hard here in Southern California, so he's a little bit grumpy about being put outside, you know. Philip says, thanks for the satisfying to grudge with the Dawi in the tabletop tournament. You're welcome. Yeah, some grudges were satisfied for sure, but in the last tabletop tournament, which I'll be having the video go up on this Friday, man, it was a rough one for sure. Gregor, if you just joined, I would go back and watch the first game just for context. It was an amazing 1v1 match featuring the Skaven and the Greenskins teaming up with like massive Skaven slaves, and it actually was able to beat the double Undead, which is always pretty tough. So, yeah, I think Saurus are in a good place. Yeah, Saurus infantry are very strong. Players picking their compositions. Shetland Apache's made a couple minor tweaks to his force here. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Oh man. Yeah, no, I'm not watching the Super Bowl today, probably. I'm actually, after this, I'm going to go play some 40K. So I'm going to go meet up with Italian Spartacus in his town and probably play some Warhammer 40,000. I know. These are two very, like, heretical compositions, right? You have the Empire and Beastmen who, like, are, like mortal enemies, right? Then you have the Chaos and Lizardmen, which are, like, two of the oldest enemies, right? Which is interesting. Turin, help me decide Dawi, Empire, or TK for my next Middle-earth campaign. I would actually probably recommend Carrot Kadrin Garland. And it's really fun to play Ungram. And then from once you secure like your main territories to go like north and just fight the trolls and the monsters, it's very thematic. And the crafting system for the dwarves is very fun. I'm streaming from the West Coast, so California is where I live. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always nice when you have like two evil factions versus two good factions in terms of casting because it's way easier to kind of acknowledge what's going on. All right, here we go. Stephen Bridges, thank you for the $4.99, man. I don't see a message with that, but again, thank you for the donation. Hopefully you're enjoying the 2v2 content here. And yeah, next weekend we actually have the Eternal Challenger League, which is going to be on a Saturday. That's going to be a lot of fun. Next weekend, guys. Ungram's a really fun campaign. I like it quite a bit. All right, guys, so for the forces of Janet on Occasion and Shetland Apache, it looks like we're going to have Big Papa Karl Franz coming in with the Gul Miraz. So he's looking to do some beatdowns here on some of the heroes. So he's probably... Oh, man, the chicken is definitely in the danger zone. But Sarthuriel does have pretty good HP. So yeah, Karl Franz up in the skies. And for the ground force, we have 4 Outriders. So Outriders, of course, have amazing armor piercing. So if there's any like big single target entities coming in for chaos with the Lizardmen, aside from the Warp Chicken, who does have massive physical resist, Outriders can be pretty good. Karl Franz as well, and we do have a Jade Wizard on the ground, which is pretty much a staple, especially considering you can heal the Beastmen, who, you know, don't really get to be healed terribly often. So that's going to be nice. We got Morkr the Shadowgave for the Beastmen Lord. He's going to be dropping some poison and some Chaos Spawn summons, and it looks like it's a super mobile army coming in here. And for the Beastmen, they have Centaurs, and I think they have the Sons of Goros over here, so they do have some AP here, the Sons of Goros, but of course the Empire, it's kind of cool, right? Because these guys are going to be very good versus anti-light and infantry, and the Empire has plenty of armor piercing with Karl Franz and these 4 Outriders. So very unique army here from the Beastmen to the Empire, and it looks like there's going to be some Vanguard deployment as well. Now for the forces of Professor Pone and the Lore Master of Sotek, we do have the Skink Skirmishers. We got some clever girls over here for Sotek. These Velociraptors definitely looking to feast. But, you know, the issue with them is they're probably going to be rampaged, and they get smashed by Centaurs and by Outriders, so that's a little bit tricky. And let's see what else they got going on. In the back, oh yeah, more Vanguard action. And for the Forces of Chaos, we do have the Warp Chicken, who does have the Final Transmutation, as well as the Searing Bolts. And it looks like Chaos does have a pretty standard army. They just have the Mirror Guard, Marauders across the entire front line. So yeah, that's basically it for Chaos. They have some Halberds, and they have the Big Chicken and a bunch of infantry. And for the dinos, we have Skink Cohorts of Javelins, we have Croxagors, we have Saurus Oldblood, and a Beastcaster, who does have the Manticore summon. So a very like headstrong army for these guys. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Those Croxagors are going to be taking a ton of fire, but I don't know if these guys, the Beastmen, is there going to be some Cygor summons coming down? I would imagine there is. Yeah, there's going to be some Cygor summons coming down for sure. It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, obviously this infantry army is going to get kited to pieces and just shot up by all these Outriders and, you know, the Centaur cycle charging, but they're going to be pretty tough to crack. I mean, there's a lot of durability. There's a lot of shielded infantry that can take that fire pretty easily if, you know, the battle is played properly here. And I don't think this is the map I picked, but that's okay. They can play on this one anyways. Yes. Yeah, this is a very, I mean, more of a traditional army here from the Warriors of Chaos, right? But the Beastmen and the Empire have a very much like a kite, skirmish army, Outriders coming in. There is some, yeah, you got Centaurs with great weapons here for the Sons of Goros, and it looks like there's going to be an Empire Vanguard back here as well. So the players have conveniently kind of deployed on other sides of the map here. But if this force gets discovered pretty quick, these clever girls are hidden, and the Skink Skirmishers as well. That could be pretty rough, because then the other more mobile force could just swarm in and kind of get all these free kills. And that's, you know, in a small funds game, this is a lot of resources right here. This is no joke. This is like, you know, 700-800 gold, which is quite a bit. Yes. Yeah, make sure to drop a like on the stream if you guys are enjoying it. This is going to be a battle between Lore Master of Sotek and Professor Pone, the auto-generates, facing off against Shetland on occasion, which is going to be, who are going to be playing the Empire and Beastmen. But yeah, Sotek and Pone are going to be playing the Lizardmen and Chaos. I have to like repeat that to myself a couple times just so I can like start to remember it. And it looks like a chat. No need to wait for me once in game. Cool. It's go time. Let's do it to it. Hit the like button with the chariot. Yeah, absolutely. So the battle's underway, and we're going to see if this little Vanguard force is going to be discovered. The clever girls are going to see these Outriders. And it looks like the Beastmen, the Beastmen are moving forward. So the Ungors here from Shetland Apache and Janet on occasion are going to be advancing over here into the forest. And they're going to see these skinks. And once the skinks are revealed, I mean, the Beastmen are probably going to swarm with Bloodlust here. You can see that the Centaurs and these other troops are probably just going to charge. So at this point, the Dinos and the Warriors of Chaos are going to be advancing across the open field, probably just going like straight just downtown right here and getting ready to engage. And yeah, the Skinks are getting their initial skirmishing shots off. The Ungors are going to be chasing, but yeah, Ungors are a good candidate for that. They have shields and they're very chaffy, so it's not really a big deal. But unfortunately for those little Skinks, there is a massive force of Centaurs coming out of the forest here. So these guys are going to be coming in with the beat sticks, and I can see that, you know, the Warp Chicken's running over here like as fast as he can. The Clever Girls might get away, but yeah. I mean, if I were Shetland Apache, I would definitely grab these guys and just go in. Just balls deep, just grab them. These are pretty much free kills. You might not capture the Velociraptors, but at the very least, getting these King Skirmishers could be pretty cost effective. So he's going in. He's going to be keeping back the Sons of Goros to make sure they don't take any damage. Regular Centaurs do have shields, and it looks like the Clever Girls might actually go in and commit to this fight, which they will maybe get a pretty nice advantage on because they did get the charge and the other guys didn't. And the Skinks are turning around to help as well, but the Clever Girls are going to rampage. pretty much sealing their doom here. So it looks like Lore Master of Sotek might be sacrificing the clever girls to allow these skink skirmishers to escape. Karl Franz, in the meantime, is going to be going in with his fat Gall Miraz and dropping some hammer. I don't know what happened. He just like Tokyo drifted over that guy's head. But anyways, Karl Franz going in with Gall Miraz should be able to get some damage, and it looks like he does get a really nice hit there on Sartorial, who has no way to heal if I'm not mistaken. I don't think there's any Rev Crystals. Rev Crystal would have been actually really nice in this situation to heal up the Warp Chicken. Karl Franz going in with that Gall Miraz might be able to catch him, and he does get another really good attack. So the Warp Chicken takes quite a bit of free damage there, and it looks like the Outriders of the Empire getting ready to position, and yeah, just kind of some light skirmishing going on, but the Skink Javelins from Lore Master of Sotek doing some decent counter poke against Karl Franz, and the Centaurs look like they need to pull back now. But they do break off the Velociraptors. They're completely shattered, so that's a nice little pick. And you can see immediately the bounce of power is actually going in the favor of the Empire and the Beastmen here with those nice couple picks in the early game. And the Cygor summon in the back has been dropped, so you can see the Wild Caster from Shetland Apache and Jaina on occasion has gone down back here, and this is beautiful positioning because the entire army rotated over here, and if that Cygor could start just dropping boulders on this Chaos Infantry, that's going to be really strong. So Beastmen infantry have engaged in the front line versus the Mirror Guard, which is going to be pretty disastrous for these Ungors. They're going to get cut to pieces. And the Big Daddy Kroxigors are going to be piling in to assist their Chaos friends here. And yeah, the Beastmen infantry are not in a good place here, but of course it doesn't really matter. That's literally like no gold. And that's going to open up is the Outriders. So the Outriders from Jaina on occasion shooting downtown into the Kroxigors, which is exactly what you want. That's going to be very good. And Karl Franz, in the meantime, I imagine he's just going to be flying around in the skies looking for juicy targets and just diving. Sons of Goros coming in with a very nice rear charge, getting onto these Skink Skirmishers, which might actually break them away from the main battle. And if they break this direction, they're pretty much 100% a free kill, which is going to be quite good and tasty. But the Skink's actually confident despite all that. I'm really surprised they held on. And Lore Master of Sotek with a very nice kind of screening play is going to be moving up the Skink cohorts, but it looks like another countercharge coming in from Shetland Apache. The Centaurs just kind of harrying the formation, charging in there, doing quite a bit of work. And of course the Beastmen infantry line is going to buckle pretty quick. But really, it's just about the Outrider shooting in here. But look at this. Morker actually gets a little bit overzealous. He gets fully surrounded by the Kroxigors. So they got their spanking paddles out, and they're actually doing some heavy spanking on Morker. So this is a little bit tricky here. It looks like Professor Pone and Lore Master of Sotek getting a pretty good catch here on Morker. Could be disastrous. But in the meantime, Karl Franz is jumping in the front line. A rear charge coming in from Centaurs. I think he's trying to kind of pressure and maybe free up some space here. But the Overwatch coming in from the Outriders is doing good work against the Kroxigors. It might free up Morker. He does summon some Chaos Bond to help him out a little bit. But it looks like there's going to be a Manticore summon coming down from the Lore Master of Sotek, which is going to be even more damage on Morker if he so chooses. In the meantime, the Beastmen in the back are just cycle charging these troops, but very nice halberd defense here from Professor Pone is kind of fending off some of the Centaurs, and these halberds are going to be cutting some of these Beastmen to pieces, so you can see these guys are getting chopped up pretty bad. But the Chaos and Lizardmen forces are kind of stabilizing. They were ahead initially on the bounce of power. The Cygor is still marching here. It looks like it took a ton of damage. What damage that? Maybe it was just from degeneration, but I feel like that would have taken a little bit longer. But the Outriders of the Empire were able to actually free up Morker. So Morker was fully surrounded by Kroxigors, but the Kroxigors did get picked to pieces by the fire coming in from the Outriders. But he took a ton of damage, but it looks like some Skinks are also prison shanking him now. So Morker is getting poked. He's getting a little bit low. He has about 2,000 HP, but Karl Franz is going in for a big attack here. Karl Franz is going to be attacking the Sartorial, but the Summoned Manticore from Lore Master of Sotek is going to be protecting its fellow avian friend, and Karl Franz is taking a little bit of damage. I don't think he's getting the upper hand on this trade between the Warp Chicken and the Manticore versus Franzy Boy. And in the back, you can see Outriders are shooting in against the Manticore, but still, the Warp Chicken is actually not a pushover of a combatant. So Karl Franz getting whooped on a little bit, and you can see the bounce of power is coming back into the favor of Lore Master of Sotek and Professor Pone, as they're staying very resilient in the face of all this different harass. Outriders on the flanks are shooting in, wasting a lot of ammunition on these Skink cohorts. Well, I don't know if it's a lot, but it looks like they've been shooting here for a minute, which is not good. They need to be shooting the bigger targets. And it looks like these Centaurs are going to be charging in to just try and clear up the chaff on the wings and different things like that. And yeah, so far, pretty close fight. Karl Franz, though, does get broken off, which does normalize the bounce of power. So now Lore Master of Sotek and Professor Pone, the auto-generates, have pulled back into this game a little bit. Karl Franz is definitely going to need to get some juicy healing, and he was able to do some work on the chicken, but it definitely was not worth it. I mean, there was so many other targets. Not to say it was a bad choice, but it just didn't work out too well. So Jaina on occasion is going to be falling back with the old Karl Franz boy, but it looks like Franzy's back, but there is a summoned Manticore from Lore Master of Sotek who's going to be chasing him, and that Manticore, with Karl Franz being that beat up, could most certainly take him out. Now there's going to be some boulder fire coming down from the Beastmen, who's going to be helping out its Empire ally wherever it can, but it looks like a lot of the power of the Beastmen army is going to be lying in a lot of the different summons and things like that. But, I mean, as far as Outriders go, let's look. So those Outriders have good ammo. These ones have pretty good ammo as well. And these two are pretty good on ammunition. So there's still a lot of stopping power that the Empire can put in. But they're going to need to finish off that Warp Chicken. This boy's pretty hungry. And where'd that Manticore go? So it looks like the Manticore from Lore Master of Sotek is actually being turned to attack the Bray Shaman, the Lore of Wild. Probably anticipating that there could be another Cygor summon. I think he's going to be sending his resources to take that guy out. So for anyone just joining, the Lizardmen are going to be allied with the Warriors of Chaos. I know it can be a little bit tricky in these games sometime. And the Beastmen and the Empire are a team here. So Karl Franz jumping back in there, just cleaning up some of the chaff, going after Marauders, which he's pretty beat up. Not a bad idea. And it looks like he did get some healing as well. So as far as the Lizardmen Lord, they do have a Saurus Old Blood. He's definitely been having trouble finding a home here. Sons of Goros getting a very good charge onto the Mirror Guard, who do get the stand your ground buff. But nonetheless, Sons of Goros have great armor piercing. And they also do magic damage, which I don't think is pertinent because I don't think the Mirror Guard have any sort of physical resist. But very good cycle charge in here, and the fire coming in from the Outriders still raining pretty heavy. Shooting in here against the against some of these Chaos Infantry, going after the Croxagors, taking out those big dinos. But the bounce fire is really damn even, and something that's going to be very tough to kill is Immorker, the Shadowgave. I mean, he's without Karl Franz, that guy's going to take forever to kill. Where's the Franzi? Franz is still alive. Okay, he's flying around. He does have the Reikland Runefang. I wonder where he's going to go next. Probably just going to be picking off the chaff on the wings, and that's a good choice. Marauders, low leadership units, get in there, use his terror, and you can see he instantly terror outs these guys. And, you know, if Shetland Apache wanted to, he could simply just chase him and get some free kills and play a very patient, long game. And there's still plenty of ammunition on the Outriders to pick apart the Chaos Infantry. Mirror Guard do have silver shields, though, so they're pretty good for taking that type of fire. Very nice charge coming in from Shetland, and don't be afraid to charge halberds and spears if they're not braced. You still got some pretty good damage, but you don't want to stay in sustained combat. That's where you're going to be taking a lot of damage. So he needs to pull back right now with both of these Centaurs. In the meantime, in the middle, it looks like Morker, the Shadowgave, is going to be fighting, and yeah, he's just kind of moving. He likes to move it, but the Lizardmen and the Warriors of Chaos, who are in alliance here, are going to be chasing him down with the little Skink Chief, as well as Sartorial, so Morker is still at 2100 HP, so since we looked like 2 minutes ago, he's still going strong. Energizer battery over there. Karl Franz, in the meantime, is able to kind of break off some of these Chaos Warriors and relieve the Sons of Goros here, who also do provide Guardian to Karl Franz, if I'm not mistaken. So that's definitely a pretty solid little combination. And Karl Franz is going to be pulling back here, and it looks like the Empire is trying to pull them apart, and in pulling them apart, it's opening up tactics for Karl, because he's basically able to get all these free kills. He doesn't have to dive his opponents. The opponents are already overextended. So Karl Franz coming in with a huge attack on the Warp Chicken. He's going to be getting some huge damage if the chicken stays still, but a massive overcasted final transmutation coming down here from Professor Pone and Loremaster of Sotek, which is going to do a ton of damage to Karl, but the chicken is still taking a lot of work, but so is Karl. Man, what a close engagement here. Karl Franz is going to be getting some support from the Centaurs, but Karl needs to just beeline for this chicken. That's definitely a juicy call here. I mean, he's faster, he hits harder. He does have 90 speed against a chicken, only has 60, so yeah, that chicken's in a little bit of trouble. And you can see here that Janet on occasion doesn't really care anymore. He's just going to be shooting Sartorial, trying to do as much damage as he possibly can. And the chicken, the KFC King, might be going down here. The Beastmen are coming in to lend their aid to their Imperial allies. That's going to be really good. That's going to make it tough for the chicken to get away. Outriders are shooting in, and let's look at the forces of the Loremaster of Sotek and Pone. So far, Loremaster of Sotek still has his Saurus Old Blood, as well as his Skink Priest here, and it looks like Morker is in this 2v1 fight, but Morker is actually going to lose this. But the Warp Chicken has gone down, so for the forces of Professor Pone and the Loremaster of Sotek, they have lost their Chaos leadership, and the Chaos Army is pretty much in tatters. So the Lizardmen are really going to be standing alone here. You can see there's some Marauders over here. There's, for the most part, all the Chaos Infantry are done for. They're just gone, right? So Loremaster of Sotek stands alone here. I mean, he just has his Saurus Old Blood as well as his Skink Priest, and he's going to be taking a lot of fire from these Outriders here who still have enough ammunition probably to just sit and shoot and finish him off. And there also is another Cygor summon, so the Boulders are going to be coming downtown and dropping some hot steam on those Chaos Warriors. That is brutal. But Morker is really close to dying. I mean, that would maybe be the only chance he could get back in this game if he could kill Morker, and you know, this guy just kind of disappeared. But for the most part, I think that Shetland Apache, the forces of the Empire and the Beastmen, have won this game. You can see Karl Franz coming in with the steel chair with his Galmaraz. Very cool build, using the Outriders and the Centaurs, just mobile harass, picking apart the opponents, and they still did have some infantry, but really, I mean, the name of the game was just the skirmishing. It was beautiful. The Outrider play was really good. The Centaur cycle charging was great. Karl Franz coming in to be a bit of a distraction. Carnifex getting in there, forcing everyone on top of him, at which point the Outriders could shoot in. Also having Morker just be kind of a damage magnet. Shetland, I don't know if he did that intentionally, but he sent Morker in the beginning, and they surrounded him with all these Croxagors. And at that point, the Croxagors were all just like juicy targets, and that was it. So the forces of the Beastmen and the Empire are going to win that game, and that's going to be a 2-0 sweep for the forces of Shetland on occasion, which is, of course, the Shetland Apache and Janet on occasion. So what a great game. That was a close one. Very, very cool builds. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Thank you all for joining. GG indeed. That was a great one. So Ryan, with the donation of $4.99, as a fellow former football player, I must ask, what type of run schemes did you work with in high school? Also, thanks for the stream. So in high school, I played running back, and yeah, God, I can't even remember the technical language of it. I played running back and strong safety. As a matter of fact, Ryan, I'm gonna upload my football highlight tape, because I originally wanted to play college football, but I had too many injuries by that time, so I couldn't. I actually tore my hamstrings, so that kind of shut down any hopes I had. Yeah, but anyways, about the game here. Cool composition. Shetland Apache, mobile force. They literally had 1 infantry unit here, 4 outriders here, and they engaged the entire time. There was no like degenerate kiting. It was just good cycle charging, good overwatch fire coming in from the outriders. Karl Franz coming in with the steel chair. And it definitely, I mean, this army was pretty heavy and pretty slow. And some of the faster elements, like the Warp Chicken, couldn't do anything because of Karl. And the Kroxigors kind of just got taken apart by the outriders. So that's going to be that's going to be it for now. So GG, Shetland, post finals lobby. Thank you. All right. So let's go ahead here and get the screen blocker up. Pull up the brackets in just a moment. And that's going to be Shetland on occasion moving on to the finals. And let's go ahead and get into the next lobby for our next showdown here in this 2v2 Gotrek and Felix League. Well, I wouldn't call it a league. It's just kind of a flash tournament in a way. But all right. So, and here we go. Let's go ahead and join the next game. 1 second. It's a good day, guys. It's a good day. Having a lot of fun with this. All right, so we are now in the next lobby. Let's go ahead and take a look at the players and the teams as we do get Wookiee, our glorious screen blocker, up. Oh, yeah. It's Gotham's Reckoning, all right. So in this one, we got to update the names as well. So let's go ahead and just do that while the players set up their forces here. Hope you're all doing well on this fine Sunday afternoon or Sunday night, depending on where you live. Yeah, I know. Very, very creative builds for sure. I mean, those guys definitely had some awesome strategies. Okay, so let's get the names here. And who's on that side? That's going to be Falcon and Zardar, which is going to be team. All right, there we go. And if I'm not mistaken, that means companions, and they're going to be facing off against Taco Lizard. And it's currently going to be 1-0 or 0-0. Sorry, not 1-0. I don't know what I'm talking about. Brain just doesn't work sometimes. All right, guys, here we go. Beautiful play by both teams, so well played. Let's hear a round of applause for the Professor of Ponage and Lore Master of Sotek. Big thanks to those guys for joining today. And make sure to head on over to both their channels. There will be links in the comment section below once everything's done. And yeah, it's fine. And now Janet gets to watch. Yes, you do, Janet, on occasion. Beautiful play, by the way. So, in this first match, we're going to be having the High Elves teaming up with the Tomb Kings for Hitairoi, and they're going to be facing off against the Empire and, wow, Vampire Coast. This is going to be fun. I updated the scores, I'm pretty sure. 0-0. 0-0. Okay. This build is going to be interesting. Controversial stuff going on here. Controversial. I'm going to get some water, guys. 1 second. I love this format. Oh my god. Falcon's army is so absurd. Oh my god. Oh my god, guys. I wish you could see it right now. Oh man, gotta do some stretches. Tomb Kings with healing? I don't know actually. I don't know if you can Earthblood undead units. I don't know. Alexander Marsh, thank you for the donation. Please nerf Falcon. Thank you for the $5 donation, Mr. Pipes. Oh. Here we go. So I'll let them know they can start whenever. Start anytime. Hey guys. All right. So Tomb Kings and High Elves. Now I have a suspicion about what Falcon, how he's going to be playing this. Oh my god. I mean, High Elves and Tomb Kings isn't that bad in terms of lore, right? I mean, I feel like there's much more kind of things that could be a little bit more off the kilter there. I think that I think the Empire and the Vampire Coast probably makes a little bit less sense. What do you think about OP Chaos and lore? Are you saying like that Chaos is overpowered in lore? And what do I think about that? David, Falcon's army is a single war dog unit. Oh my god. We could see Sisters of Avalorn, perhaps. Who knows? Could be a thing. Oh my god, Ben Tyler. Turin, love the content. May this help fund your robo hands. Ben Tyler coming in with a fat goddamn $100 donation. Thank you, Ben. Holy shit, man. Well, certainly one step closer to the cyborg hands. Flex on peasants. Oh my god. Ben, thank you so much, man. I'm glad you're enjoying the tournament. OP donation. Pharaoh in chat is like, marry me? Marry me, Ben? Oh my god. I love it. Ben, seriously, man, thank you so much. That's huge. Lady Turin actually gets back in a couple days. She's been in Poland visiting her family, so I'll make sure to take her out. And put some of that aside for my Robo Hands fund, which I'm actually currently saving up for a stem cell treatment, so it's really expensive. I can't afford it quite yet, but you know, donations like that do help, so thank you, man. Oh, wow. Goddamn. Thank you, man. Whew. What a day. Who needs a Super Bowl? Ben flexing on his salty sex. Oh, man. Yeah, thank you so much. Cream of the crop, baby. All day. All right. So the players picking their armies. We're going to be on Iron Sand Desert, which is an open field map, so missile play is going to be very much viable. Oh, my God. How crazy would it be to see like a mass Ushabti Greatbow build with like mass High Elf Archers and a couple of Cav units just harrying things? Man, that could be so nasty. That could be so nasty. The Super Bowl is pretty good. I'm a full-time YouTuber, actually, Thomas. This is what I do for a living, so yeah. Professor Poe needs the Super Bowl. He's gonna. Well, now you can go watch it. This is the Warhammer Super Bowl. Well, the Warhammer Super Bowl is actually next weekend. Or I guess Everchosen is the Warhammer Super Bowl, kind of, right? Ben says, I keep missing your streams and meaning to donate finally around when you're actually live, so all the build up goes over. Oh, okay, got it. Hey, I'll take it, Ben. Thank you, man. I don't know, Flying Dutchman. I've watched enough Super Bowls. I literally watched the Super Bowl like every year of my life up until my 20s. And let me turn off my phone so it doesn't go crazy during the stream. And I played football for 7 years. I had countless concussions and injuries. Like I've paid enough dues to football. Let's see here. Fahad with the $10 donation as well. Love Warhammer and Total War 2 content. Your videos are my staple. Blood Bowl 2, basically, you know, I stopped playing Blood Bowl for the most part because I only have so much strength in my hands before they start to hurt. And like Blood Bowl was fun and all, but I kind of had to like prioritize certain games. And I can usually only play like 2 games, like a little bit of Warhammer, a lot of Warhammer and a little bit of Armada. So I had to kind of choose there. Yeah. Thanks again for the donation, man. Thank you so much, man. Oh my god, I would take a robot hand so quick. If like I could get the Luke Skywalker hand, well actually that one's kind of just like a claw. I would actually want like, yeah, something from like a sci-fi movie or something. I would take that. I don't care. They can chop my hand off. Okay. Here we are in game 1, guys, which is going to be a showdown between Zardar Total War and Falcon, facing off against the glory of Taco Lizard, which is going to be Gojira and Reptile King. Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I got pretty beat up playing sports. I played football for 7 years. I did pretty intense weightlifting, which screwed me up. All kinds of stuff. I was really bad to my body when I was young. Well, I'm 30 now, so this was in my teens and early 20s. Yeah, I you know, in retrospect, if I could go back and like not play football again, I probably wouldn't. I mean, I loved it and every moment of it, and some of the best memories in my life are from football and like the camaraderie and my friends I made through football. But just the damage you do to your body and your brain, it's like, I don't know about that, boys. I mean, I haven't felt any effects in terms of my, you know, cognitive process and everything, but who knows? Maybe someday it'll catch up with me. Anyways, guys, showdown here between the forces of Falcon and Zardar Total War, who are going to be the High Elves and the Tomb King. So it looks like we do have Teclis here. So Teclis, of course, the reason to bring him is for Nets of Amnitok, and if he has regrowth and a couple other good abilities. Oh my god, does Falcon have the Sword of Teclis? He has a Sword of Teclis. Oh my god. That's going to be pretty nutty. And it looks like the entire army for the High Elves is going to be 4 Sisters of Avalorn, Oh, my sweet Christmas. That's going to be some heavy focus fire. Heavy focus fire. Look at this. Miles on 5'11". Well, 5'10 and a half. 5'10 and a half. Yeah. So the Sisters of Averlorn. Oh my god, there's 4 of them with nets. And the Grand Hierophant Kotep's coming in as well with his Sandstorm. So far, Zardar Total War and Felcon trying to win the hearts of the people with Kotep. And look at this build here. Front line just going to be skeletons. Because, I mean, these Sisters can generate all the damage you need. You don't really need much damage in the front line. So having just skeleton chaff, just kind of hold things in place. A couple groups of skeleton horsemen just to kind of do some skirmishing. Just fend off, I mean, at least be a bit of a tar pit. It's going to be nice. Spears on the flanks. We got Grand Hierophant Kotep, 2 groups of Carrion, and it looks like Teclis. That's going to be some heavy focus fire. Oh my god. Yes, this is nuts. For the forces of Reptile King and Gojira, the Taco Lizards. In the front line, we do have what's going to be a couple halberds. So there's going to be 4 halberds, which are always a good choice. I mean, honestly, high melee defense, they do the trick. 2 zombie pirate gunnery mobs, just the standard variant. But these guys are just going to get their bread buttered so goddamn hard by those Sisters of Averlorn. That is going to be so rough. There's going to be some handguns in the back, but of course they're going to be outranged by the Sisters. 145 against 180. Ooh, that's rough. And we got a cannon, so it looks like there's going to be a carronade. So at the very least, they can get some poke before the fighting starts. We got a Vampire Fleet captain with the pistol, and he does have Lord Vampires. Look at this guy. They're so cool looking. And we got some Fellbats up in the skies who are going to be taken out by the carrion, most likely. Demogryph Knights on the flanks. Balthazar Gelt cackling up in the skies. But, man, the focus fire, if you slip up once against Falcon and those Sisters, he's going to net that. He's going to net that ass. He's going to come in and get some massive focus fire. So I'm really, I think I have to put my marbles with Felcon and Zardar. I mean, I feel like their comp is just going to be so good against this. Because all the zombie pirate guns are going to be basically just be shut down by these Sisters. What I would have liked to have seen is maybe be like a couple mortars and like some scurvy dogs to do some harass. I don't know. This is going to be tough. So start anytime. Slojiro says, good luck, have fun, you gets. But Balthazar Gelt, you can never underestimate him. I mean, they could do some serious sniping. Balthazar Gelt with the final transmutation plus a Witch Hunter and cannon fire. So we're going to see. But I would assume immediately this army is going to be advancing, so you can see very good coordination here as both players advance immediately. And these Sisters are going to be coming in. I wonder what the first net's going to be. I mean, it could be just a net on Balthazar Gelt and then a massive focus fire. That would literally probably almost one-shot him. Oh, man. This is going to be something. This is going to be something. I love this composition, though. Just having, like, the cheap Undead front line here. You have DJ Kotep for his sweet vortexes and his DJ beats. And the Carrion can easily just overwhelm those Fellbats and just kind of chase around or even be used to disrupt the cannon and some of those other elements. Now, the cannon is going to be shooting in. Definitely wants to go after the Sisters. It does take out 4 models right out of the gates there, which is good. He should be targeting those. Nothing else matters. I mean, you need to shut down these Sisters. Skeleton Horsemen in the back. Probably going to use them defensively. I mean, even if he, just chase these Outriders, for example, the Skeleton Horsemen, or intercept the Demogryph Knights if they're going to be doing a charge, just sacrifice them basically to buy yourself time. The Sisters of Averlorn are plenty of damage output to finish off the Demogryph Knights, so Gojira is going to have to be really careful with these guys. I mean, I don't know. It's just, it seems like a very tricky composition to beat. So over here you can see the Outriders are going to be getting attacked, probably by the Carrion. No, it looks like they're not. So he's just going to be ignoring them because they are shooting at the Sisters of Averlorn, I think. Looks like they're kind of shooting in here. Might get a couple kills. No, they're able to take those bullets like champs. But the first volleys are going to be underway, and the guns are going to melt very, very quickly. He's probably going to go after the handguns right away, because that's the best chance for retaliation that the Vampire Coast does have here. But they have a nice little high ground position. They do have the hill, but the first volleys are going to be coming in. Cannon fire doing some substantial damage against the Sisters. That's good. So the Vampire Coast does have that going for it, as well as the forces of the Empire. And here come the first volleys of the Sisters. They're going to be melting into the zombie pirate gunnery mobs with handguns, and just make sure to put those guys down. One of them is going to be shooting at the cannon, which will go down pretty quickly. And it looks like the forces of the Vampire Coast are going to be scooting forward to intercept this force. Now the Empire, let's see what they do with Demogryph Knights. Outriders on the flank still getting some good fire into the Sisters, and it looks like there's going to be some carrion going to chase those guys off, which definitely needs to happen pretty quick. But the cannon's almost offline. Sisters doing a great job there, and over here the zombie pirate gunnery mobs with handguns got a little bit of return fire, but for the most part it doesn't seem like they're able to pay their dues. And what's really nice is that Zardar is leaving some troops in reserve, like these cav and a couple spears and things like that, just in case things get ugly back here. And you can see he's going to be pulling up these cav to intercept these bats. So very good teamwork here. Just kind of, protecting the archers and, just working with what they got. So the Druid Sandstorm in the back does go through some of the zombie pirate gunnery mobs. The cannon is 100% offline, and the High Elf archers just shooting downtown, going after the Demogryph Knights, who are a great target. Sisters of Averlorn have amazing armor piercing, and they're going to be able to tear apart the Demogryph Knights pretty easily. So they're shooting in there. Demis with halberds, of course, do not have any shields or missile mitigation. except for their armor, of course, but that's not going to help them against these sisters. Now, the frontline fight is a bit of a wash. Skeletons just trade pretty evenly with zombie pirate deckhand mobs. These Demogryph Knights doing a bit of a frontal charge, but really not going to be the best use of them. And there are going to be some pirate summons in the back line, and the skeleton horsemen are able to fend off those guys, but the Sisters of Avalorn are in pretty good shape. And I'm just waiting for a big techless net. These Demogryph Knights are pretty much, yeah, they're getting put down pretty hard. And they're going to be charging into skeletons, just being mucked up and tar pitted and just taking all this heavy armor-piercing damage, which definitely is not good and tasty. But look at this. Very, very good play here by Gojira and the forces of Taco Lizard getting a massive final transmutation on Techless. They're able to butter him up pretty good. And, yeah, he pops a Potion of Croy, Felcon does, which is a very good choice. He obviously doesn't need to cast any spells right now. He just needs to heal, so... In the back, the Sisters have reformed ranks. They're going to be shooting into the guns. Balance of Power is still surprisingly even. The front line of Skeleton Warriors actually will probably lose in the long run against these deckhand mobs and different troops like that. So there is a chance that through attrition, maybe the front line of the Empire and the Vampire Coast could push through. I mean, there's still a Witch Hunter with Accusation. There's still a Vampire Fleet Admiral who does have a lot of summons. And you can see that the Sisters of Avalorn from Felcon are being forced back. And as far as ammunition, they all seem to be... Yeah, these ones are about 30%, so about between 30 and 55% for all of them, give or take. So a very good net of Amatox is going to be going down on the Demogryph Knights, who are also pinned in with spears, and that's just going to be unleashing just that massive torrent of fire. Very good, just punishing fire on those guys. So these Demogryph Knights are pretty much offline. And the Meme Lord himself, Balthazar Yelt, is having to get his hands dirty. He's jumping into the Sisters right here. He, of course, you know, on Quicksilver is quite a quick steed. I think that's his name, Quicksilver, something like that. But Grand Hero and Kotep still alive in the back as well. Let's look at the front line. So the Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs are here, are winning. Spearmen are obviously beating Skeleton Warriors. So in the front line, it's not like a complete disaster. It looks like there still are some guns online. Some of these Zombie Pirate Gunnery mobs are going to be shooting down the Carrion. Yeah, and the front line engagement isn't going terribly, but there's still a lot of reserves. There's Skeleton Spears back here. There's Skeletons here, here, and here. So I feel like, you know, over the course of a long, grindy fight, Zardar and Felcon would be able to take that. Now you can see Balthazar Gelt is being focus fired. So the Sisters are shooting him. And if a single net comes down from Techless... Ooh, but look at this. There's going to be some sort of a vortex coming down here. Not sure what it is. And it looks like it's going to be piercing bolts from Balthazar Gelt, which makes pretty limp contact. Doesn't seem to do the most damage. But Balthazar Gelt is being picked out of the skies pretty bad. So the Gelt man is flying. He's juking. Gojira is doing the best he possibly can. But it looks like he might get pops here. He's just holding on with 3 leadership, just barely stabilizing. Thankfully for him, Techless did not have his nets off cooldown. Now, in the meantime, the Vampire Fleet Captain with the pistol and the Witch Hunter are going to be moving up with their fat hand cannons or blunderbusses. Getting some pretty good shots downtown. And it looks like there's going to be a regrowth. So you actually can use regrowth on Kotep? You can? Interesting. Okay, so you can regrowth those undead units. I wasn't sure about that. But the guns are going to be shooting downtown here, or not guns, but the Sisters, and they're able to just eviscerate those Outriders, just taking them apart. Now the Vampire Coast has a very slow process of advancing and trying to disrupt this line, but look at this just arc of fire. And for anyone who's ever played not a concave, but anyone who's ever played an RTS like StarCraft or anything like that, having a concave of fire, like a circle like this, is very efficient. And you can kind of pull your opponent deep into it and shoot them from the sides. It's a very powerful tactic right here, especially if you were able to kind of scoot his guys out a little bit more, but he's just focus firing here. And he does pull a hard switch onto Gelt, so if you lapse for 1 second, like I said, you're going to be taking substantial damage from those Sisters. And of course, Kotep here, he's just hanging out. What spells does he have anyways? The Incantation of Protection and the Cursed Blades. So Balthazar with one final cast here is going to be dropping the, probably an overcasted, no, just regular final transmutation, but look at that. Felcon responds immediately using the Potion of Croy, which is a 44% flat damage resist against all types of damage, so it's really going to mitigate the effectiveness of that. And from there, Pimp Daddy Gelt is probably going to get taken out. Now, something else to consider about these Sisters is they're very powerful in melee. They have good combat sets, 37, 39, 32, so they could easily beat down these chaff in melee if they have to fight. Balthazar Gelt has 131 HP. Is he going to get away? Another volley coming in. Balthazar Gelt. Is he going to be the hero that Gotham needs? It looks like he's going to be put in the can. Oh, Gelt, no! And Gelt falls down and meets his untimely demise. So over here, the High Elves and the forces of the Tomb Kings. The Tomb Kings don't really have anything left, actually. They have some Skeleton Spears here that are still fighting. Some Skeleton Warriors over here. Actually, that's not true. They have quite a bit left. And the Ushopti Summon, of course, very helpful in the 4th quarter. Now the Sisters of Avalorn are going to be getting massive focus fire here into the to the Vampire. So the Vampire guy just gets lit up by the Sisters of Avalorn. Brutal stuff. You can see there's just arrows in pretty much every aspect of that body right there. The Witch Hunter is going to get taken out. And that was a very good game. And, you know, I would have to say that the Taco Lizard, Reptile King, and Gojira actually put up a really good fight. I mean, considering that the army build against them was so good against what they had, they put up a good fight and really fought long and hard. That was like a 7 or 8 minute game. So that's going to be game 1 here. Looks like there's a couple Zombos left that are going to be fighting, but the Sisters are more than equipped to fight those guys in melee. Yeah, these ladies are mean, especially with Techless and getting the nets. That's a very, very good tactic. You just have to be careful. Gojira did a good job dodging it for most of the game. He was like doing really good strafing and whatnot, but eventually in the end, it doesn't even matter. All right, so let's get the screen blocker up. We'll get the score for Felcon and Zardar Total War. It's 1-0 in this best of 3 series. And here we go. Game 2. Falcon says, Sword of Teclis OP, please nerf. Yeah, the way to beat that army with Sisters is just to go super wide. Like, had they had a, for example, like that Skaven build that Janet brought would have been pretty annoying against it, just like numbers. Just don't give them any good targets. But how can you know they're going to bring it? I mean, I guess if you know who you're playing against. Flying Dutchman says, GG, to quote many an 80s cartoon, teamwork is important. Yes, it is. I know, it's really sad what happened. I'm a huge Linkin Park fan. Man, I remember like in 8th grade just jamming to Hybrid Theory, just getting so down to that, being like, hell yeah, I'm so awesome and intense. Oh man. DJ Kotzap did good. So, we're going to be on River Amazon here, which is a pretty cool map. It's actually not really a river map. It's more of an open field one with some light terrain blocking. But, yeah, we have the Dwarves and the Tomb Kings. Okay, this is good. So we have, like, Team Evil versus Team... Yeah, like, you know, you have, like, the pure, like, kind of zombified factions versus, like, you know, the Bone Boys and the Dwarves, which is going to be really interesting. I'm quite excited to see how this works, actually. What do you guys think? What do you guys think here? Yeah, you're right, Matthew. You had a really good point. That in the last match, the Empire player, Gojira, probably had to really kind of be like, am I bringing Demogorgon Knights to kill constructs, or am I going to have to go wider to deal with skeletons? It is a bit of a coin flip there, but that's why, you know, it's a 2v2, so each army should kind of account for one thing. And it seems like they both went a little bit all in killing constructs. Yeah. Vampire Counts and Coast, which is a classic 2v2 composition. It's really nasty, facing off against the Dwarfs and the Tomb Kings. But we already saw Vampire Coast and it's just Vampire this and that. Vampire Counts and Coast. Counts and Coast. We saw them lose earlier today, so. Yeah. Yeah, smash the like button, guys. Thank you, Tiamat64. Thank you. Great tournament so far today. This has been a lot of fun. We've had a bunch of great games. These 2v2 tournaments are always a blast. But next week we have the Eternal Challenger League Finals, Saturday, February 9th at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm probably going to be casting it with Italian Spartacus too. He's probably going to come over and cast it with me. So, my favorite factions to play right now, Dwarfs. I love playing Dwarfs. I don't know. Who else do I really like playing right now? I'm kind of all over the place. I used to love playing Vampire Coast, but the problem with playing Vampire Coast is whenever even if I do well with Vampire Coast in a video and like maybe let's say I'm able to outplay someone and put on a good showcase, people just are like, yeah, they're OP. It doesn't matter. It's like, okay. So I kind of burnt out a little bit on playing Vampire Coast, but and arguably Vampire Coast was a little bit overtuned. I think that no more overtuned perhaps than Vampire Counts, but they did get some nerfs, so I'm eager to get back to playing them a little bit. Yeah, I actually really like playing Vampire Coast, Dwarves, and I always love playing Beastmen. Beastmen are so much fun. Tomb Kings I love. I love playing Empire. There's so many factions I enjoy. No, Misha, Anna will be back by then. Yeah. You know, I got to play more Skaven. Matthew. That's funny. Oh man, Beastman Rush builds. I'm playing 40k with Italian Spartacus today. Actually, after this, I'm going to his local game store, so I have to drive to him. And it's about a 45-minute drive, 40 minutes. But unfortunately, I think he wants to paint more of his army before, because my army's pretty much fully painted and everything. But he's just starting to paint his army, so I think he wants to wait for that. I would imagine before he puts it on the channel. I'm not sure. I'll keep asking, of course. No, Lady Turin will be back soon. I can't wait. Yeah, I mean, I was going to make a Vampire Coast guide. I have all the builds, but then the Festog update changed all the cost. So I actually had already recorded the build guide, but then the Festog update made them all useless because they were overcosted because of the cost changes. So now I'm like, I have to reevaluate everything. So I probably should have just waited. I might still put something out for them. I'm not sure. My least favorite faction? It would have to be the Elves. I like High Elves. I like Orion. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what my least favorite is. I in general, I'm not a fan of elves. I don't like their play styles too much. Except high elves are a little different. I like the way that high elves play. Yeah. Well, that's not necessarily true, Garland. I actually painted about 80% of my army. Anna she painted about 20% of my army, but she's a better painter than me. The ones that Anna painted are like super nice. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, Anna's the best. I know. I've been missing her. She's been in Poland for a while. Yeah, Dark Elves are really strong. Start when ready. Yeah, the players just making their last minute changes to the army here. We have Falcon and the Vampire Counts. He's made a couple changes. He's gone through like 4 or 5 different armies. You can tell they're theory crafting pretty hard. I mean, I like... Yeah, I don't know. In terms of lore, if I had to like give you a lore assessment of the elves, I like wood elves. Because I feel like Orion and like the tree kin and tree people are kind of cool. But the high elves just seem like pompous. To me. Like the whole War of Vengeance thing and all that. Dark elves obviously are like just edgelords, but dark elves are cool. I mean, they have some cool elements. Some of the grimdark elements of dark elves are pretty neat. I haven't tried spectator mode Remain Vigilant since the Festlog update. Perhaps I should try that. Oh, I'm loving Armada. Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2 is so fun. I love that game. It's really, really fun. Yeah, what else? I really like Orion as a character, though. Orion is like one of my favorites. He's just like this just badass forest beast just coming at you. Yeah. So the players, obviously there's a lot at stake here. That's very true, Adam. That's very true. I could get... Yeah, unfortunately, if I brought my Death Guard models and showed you guys right now, I'm going to do a video. I actually have a camera now. I was able to get my hands on a decent little camera. Like, not aside from a webcam. So I'm going to be filming my army at some point. Probably this week I'll make a little video. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't read the books about High Elves, so it's a little bit unfair for me to draw conclusions. And the players are still picking here. I wonder if I can look at the army of Zardar. I'm going to see if I can see that. Malice Darkblade. Great insight into the Dark Elf Society. Okay. I'll check it out. I'm reading Gotrek and Felix still. I'm on Demon Slayer right now. I read the first 2 books. So yeah. Growbar says, Turin, is it worth it to buy Warhammer 2 only for multiplayer? It depends. I mean, do you have a history of enjoying multiplayer games? Are you a fan of, RTS junk games? Like, were you someone that could play StarCraft and Warcraft 3 and, all these different games like that? Personally, I am. And for me, I love multiplayer so much, and I'm one of those people who I almost never burn out on a game I enjoy. Like Total War, for example, Warhammer 2, like you probably have noticed a lot of, YouTubers maybe come and go or burn out on games and switch, but I just like don't burn out. Like I'm one of those type of people. So if you are someone who's a huge fan of the RTS genre and Warhammer, then yeah, it's worth it just for multiplayer. Because that's all I really do. Aside from head-to-head with Sparty every now and then. Hey, Piotr. Cheers from Poland. I'm glad you like 2v2, man. I haven't read Zombie Slayer yet. No, I'm reading Demon Slayer. I read the first 2. I read Troll Slayer and Skaven Slayer for Gotrek and Felix. And then I also read Grudge Bear from the Dwarf Omnibus. So I'm getting into the books. Yeah. And here we are, guys. It's finally time. A little bit of a long army pick process there, but hey, it's a tournament, The boys are trying to win. And let's get the Wookiee here. So this is going to be game 2 between Falcon and Zardar Total War. And they're going to be facing off against Taco Lizard, which is going to be Gojira and the Reptile King. Yes. Which is time. Yeah, the Gotrek and Felix books are really fun. You said that you learned English through those books. Oh, that's really cool. They're so fun. They're just like simple books, They're just like, it's just easy action reading, There's always something fun happening. It's Gotrek and Felix is great. All right, guys. So for the forces of Zardar Total War and Felcon, it looks like we're going to have a very spooky army. The entire front line is going to be bringing the armor piercing. So we have Graveguard with great weapons to help deal with the Dawi. Of course, a pretty good choice. Tomb Kings aren't going to have too much armor in the front line, but there could be some, armored constructs that at least you have some extra AP against. We're going to have a Blood Dragon Vampire Lord actually on horseback. So this guy did get nerfed in terms of his cost. He costs a lot more now. But he does have the Helm of Discord. He has the Summons and Invocation of Nehek, of course, and a Mana Battery Necromancer, who does also have the Summon ability. For the forces of Felcon here, it looks like he does have Zombie Pirate Deckhand Mob, so mainly just chaff, but he has to have a couple expensive units, I would imagine. Okay, he has Vampire Fleet Admiral with the Lore of Vampires, and it looks like he does have a... Is he on a crab? So Felcon's riding dirty on a crab here, and up in the skies he does have Fellbats, 2 Deck Droppers with the handguns, which are very strong, even though they got nerfed. Still a very good choice. That's pretty much it. So yeah, cool army here. It's mainly going to be heavy infantry from the Vampire Counts, Deck Droppers from the Vampire Coast with chaff, and a Blood Dragon Vampire Lord plus the Pistol Crabmaster. And for the forces of the Reptile King and Gojira, looks like we're going to have an entire front line of skeletons. So the skeleton spears are just going to be holding things up. Dwarf Warriors with Great Weapons will do okay against Graveguard. They will lose, but they'll do okay. There's also going to be a Rune Lord. So the Rune Lord has some sick runes to drop. The Rune of Wrath and Ruin, the Master one, can really punish the Graveguard with Great Weapons. Plus Gojira does also have a line of Thunder, so he has 3 of those bad boys, which are going to be a hard counter against Deck Droppers as well as Graveguard with Great Weapons if used correctly. Now Thunders need to be microed pretty effectively, but if you can, they should be boxed up a little bit more because they're going to turn very slow in this formation. Spears in the back, Spears. We do have one group of Ushapti Great Bows and some Giant Slayers. Now this is a really good army. I'm loving it. We have the Rune Lord, and for the Lord, for the Tomb Kings, who do we have? Looks like he might be positioning still. We have Grand Hierophant Kotep, which is going to be pretty good. The Vortexes will be quite good against this Vampire Coast army. So I personally think that in a bit of a vacuum, this army is a little bit better against the other one, but that's not to say that the micro from Felcon and Zardar can win the game. But the Thunders are going to be a great answer. But Thunder play, you have to be pretty on point. If you're inefficient and just let them be obstructed all the time and you're not shooting efficient targets, you can lose the game pretty easily. So it's really going to come down to, I think, Gojira's Thunder micro. I think that's going to be the make or break factor here. Tomb Kings are mostly just going to be holding in place. The Dwarves have to do the heavy lifting in terms of the damage output. Yes. It's time, guys. It is time. Have to make some tea after this game. We get ready for the grand finals. So the forces of the Spooky Boys, the Vampire Counts and the Vampire Coast, are going to be moving over towards the forest. Now the Dwarves should be like up here, because if they fight here in this forest, the Thunder Fire is going to be heavily obstructed. I mean, if I were the Vampire Count on the coast, and I knew the Dwarves were hiding in the trees, I'd be like, let's get in there, go, go, go! Like, just bum rush the trees, because those Thunders are going to be extremely inefficient. So the Deck Droppers in the meantime. Now, what targets do Deck Droppers have? The only good target, I would say, is going to be the Ushapti Great Bows. I mean, maybe shooting Giant Slayers is a good choice as well, but yeah, it's not the best. Yeah, this deployment in the forest is it's tough, man. They could have been getting so much more damage if they're out in open field here. Anyways, the Deck Droppers from the forces of Felcon and Zardar are going to be moving up here into the trees. Going to be circling around. Thunders could easily turn and counteract those guys. There are some Fellbats to provide some screening as well. And the Ushapti Great Bows looks like they're going to be shooting downtown right now. So I think they're going after some of the Krabby Patties. But they're fighting this fight in the forest. Thunders are going to be taking their first couple shots into the Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs, just shooting at whatever they can see initially. But they really should just be shooting at... And yeah, this positioning here is going to be really, really tough for these guys. So Skeleton Spears and company probably going to be engaging in the front line. You can see the forces of Felcon trying to get a bit of a wrap around the front line and not take them head on. Thunders have turned and started shooting at the Fellbats, which is a good choice. Shoot the Fellbats, shoot the Deck Droppers, get the mobile force kind of taken care of. And we're going to see if those Graveguard can bust through the front line. Grand Hierophant Kotep is going to be dropping those sick beats and those vortexes. Plus, there are some decent dwarf infantry to help out, so they might be able to win that. Skeleton Spears have engaged in the front line versus the Zombo Chaff. I don't know who would win this. 14 and 31 against 17 and 15. Probably the Skeleton Spears in a very long, grindy fight. Although, I don't know. It's hard to say. Fellbats are going to be jumping down onto the Thunders here. Deck Droppers with handguns looking for some opportune targets. Now, in defense of this positioning here, they are going to be a little bit obstructed in terms of shooting as well. So there's going to be some problems for the Deck Droppers. And yeah, these Thunders need to be shooting at the Graveguard with great weapons. They need to be peppering those guys right now, and a little bit more efficient in that respect. Now, the Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin has been dropped on top of the Sternsman, which isn't a bad choice. The Blood Dragon Vampire Lord is lurking, as well as the Vampire Fleet Admiral, so just looking for opportunities. Maybe a Helm of Discord might be dropped here in this melee fight. And these Thunders are going to be shooting. Let's see where they're facing. So it looks like they're turning about face to start shooting at these Bat Boys. So yeah, Thunderfire is going to be coming up in the skies. It's going to be hitting pretty hard against these Deck Droppers with handguns. So these guys are they're taking some work. So that's pretty decent little situation for the Dawi here. It looks like some of the bats are going to be jumping on, but Grand Hierophant Kotep is here with his Pimp Cane to help out. And the deck dropper Overwatch is going to return some fire, but these dwarves are very stalwart with their shields and, of course, their high armor values against those bats. So the Spearmen and the Zombos fighting in the front line. Eventually, those Graveguard will break through the front line. And you can see the Blooddragon Vampire Lord. It looks like he's going to be dropping some summon to the back. Ushabti Greatbow is shooting at... I'm not even sure what they're shooting at. Looks like they're a little bit obstructed. So yeah, fighting in the forest is really punishing this missile army. Nonetheless, I mean, it is kind of punishing the deck droppers as well, but I would say that the upper hand in terms of the grindy fight is really going to be going to the Vampire Coast and the Vampire Counts. Like an open field, those Dwarf Thunders could easily like tear apart a lot of those other threats, and being split a little bit wider with tighter formation so they could turn faster would be very strong. But anyways, these deck droppers with handguns up in the skies are being taken apart by the Dwarf Thunders finally, so they're able to get some good volleys once they get the pressure off them. The other group of Dwarf Thunders, probably in guard mode, is going to be shooting in, so it just basically ensures that they'll fulfill their latest order. But the Blooddragon Vampire Lord from Zardar is going to be creeping through the forest. Looks like he's going to be getting back here, maybe trying to get some zombie summons on top of these guys, which I think would be really good. And the front line of the Tomb Kings is starting to waver, actually. The Dwarf Warriors had been sent in, but the Graveguard with Great Weapons eventually are going to punch through this line here. In the back, the Deck Droppers are... how are they doing? Deck Droppers are taking some damage here. Looks like they're flying in circles, doing some jukes, but the Thunder Fire is doing its thing. But look at this. Falcon's able to get into the back line with his Vampire Fleet Captain, the Crab Boy. And yeah, he's going to be able to grab these Thunders. Oh my god, do you guys see that? He just grabbed that Dwarf and literally clubbed the other Dwarfs with it. I've never seen that attack animation. That's something, you know, hey, we learned something new today. Now, where are the Giant Slayers? The Giant Slayers should be back here helping out with this. They should definitely just be tearing apart this Crab. But Falcon's Crabman doing a great job, and the Deck Droppers are able to do some solid work there as well. Now, you can see that the balance of power is starting to shift in the favor of the Vampire Counts and the Coast, simply because of this deployment position. The Thunders are being extremely inefficient. They're barely getting any damage output. The Summon Ushabti have come in, which are going to do great damage here when they do engage, but I really think that this force position, maybe they were expecting like a ton of big monsters or something. I think it's really, really punishing them for sure. Yeah. Yeah, so the fight's still on here. Skeleton Spears, all these guys just still grinding in the front line, but they're eventually going to lose this. I mean, the Vampire Counts with the Great Weapons and the Blooddragon Vampire Lord, he's pretty much designed for that style of play. And somehow, some way, these two Deck Droppers still are online. They should not be with that many Thunders and the Ushabti Greatbows. They should just get torn apart. But the bounce power starting to reflect the positioning here. Just these guys in the forest just getting hammered by these guns. The Dwarfs, of course, have the shields, which is going to be very helpful. They're going to be turning about face and shooting up in the skies here. And yeah, I mean, they should be able to at least try and finish these guys off. The other one is tar pitted by zombies, which is good. Blooddragon Vampire Lord just cackling and riding around and dropping zombie summons wherever he goes. And the Rune Lord is going to be dropping some big buffs in the front line for the forces of the Taco Lizard, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I mean, I guess it does help, but the Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs have, you know, pretty good AP as is. So yeah, Bounce of Power creeping slower and slower. Another summon coming in the back from this Necromancer, going to be dropping some Thunder on these guys. And the entire back line now is starting to get rushed. You can see Graveguard with Great Weapons have broken through. So the Thunder line here is just going to be compromised in the forest. They're going to be cut to pieces. And once they're taken out, they're pretty much the major aspect of the Bounce of Power. Plus these guys here, the Ushabti Greatbows are being killed by the Deck Droppers with handguns. And yeah, they really should have deployed over here on the open field and just kind of shot up in the skies. And they could have been able to pick them apart easily in open field. But that's going to be how the cookie crumbles. That's going to, looks like it's going to be 2-0 for the forces of Zardar, Total War, and Felcon. And yeah, they're definitely going to win this one. There's no way that the Dwarves and the Tomb Kings can bring this one back. They really needed the gun line to do the heavy lifting. And that's going to be it. Yeah, there's summons. Look at this. Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs with guns being summoned in the back and shooting the retreating dwarves as they run, shaming their ancestors, unfortunately. And the Graveguard with Great Weapons here are just going to be cleaving. I mean, bringing the Graveguard was a really solid choice against this composition here. So they're doing a pretty solid job. So that's going to be all she wrote. That's going to be army losses in a matter of seconds. So well played to Zardar, Total War, and Felcon, who are going to be moving on to the finals. So we're gonna do the final lobby here in just a moment. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't think there's much left. I mean, there's a couple Deck Droppers on the ground. Maybe some the dwarves, of course, having amazing leadership. This guy fighting his heart out, but it's going to be too much. Blooddragon Vampire Lord's a duelist. He's going to be able to just karate chop this guy easily. And the Vampire Fleet Captain or Admiral with the pistol getting in there with great armor piercing plus armor piercing pistol shots. Oof, that is a lot of DPS there. So that's going to be game 2. That's a 2-0 sweep for the forces of Felcon and Zardar Total War. Beautiful play. And C says, Turin, you're such a nice addition to my day. I come home feeling horrible, but I always have something entertaining to watch. Well, hey, man. I'm glad to be here for you. Hope things get better for you, whatever's going on in your life. And I'll keep putting out the memes for you. And what else is still fighting here? Wow, oh, the Giant Slayers. I was like, how is this battle still going? But there's a couple Giant Slayers fighting to the bitter end. What heroes of the Dawi people. But yeah, really that deployment in the forest, I think, was what punished them, just in summary. I know I said it like 100 times, but it's the main point to accentuate. So we'll be dropping links to Discord here throughout the stream. Mark Brugman, thank you for the donation. Says, Turin, love your vids, man. Ideas for a 2v2 chat. Chooses the armies for players. Someday we could do that, yeah. I like that idea. Thank you for the donation, man. God damn. So Zardar and Felcon with a very convincing victory. Now, I really think that the Dwarves and the Tomb Kings had the army to beat that, but I just think their positioning and some of the micro was the reason that they lost. And of course, Zardar and Felcon were very good at just getting into that back line and really capitalizing on the mistakes. So that's going to be 2-0 for those guys. And let's go ahead and go to the tournament brackets. And we are going to move Hitairoy, which I'm totally mangling, so my apologies, to the finals. So, okay, so let's say GG, guys. So let me go ahead and set up the final lobby here. We'll get things going. Thank you guys all so much for joining today. I really appreciate all you guys coming out on Sunday. I was pretty sad about the deployment because I wanted to see the Dawi Thunder sing. All right, so let me go ahead and hit up Shetland Apache and the other gentlemen, make sure they're ready. And, okay. Let's have you. Already here. And it's almost showtime. Jason Denny, I second Mark's idea. You guys want to choose? All right, we can do that sometime for sure. Thank you again for the $20 donation. And William H. McCoy, 716, coming in with the 5. The fiver. So this will be convenient, actually. I don't have to change the name of the lobby. We're just going to stay here. So it's going to be these guys facing off against Shetland on occasion. So let's go ahead and get these guys going. Shetland on occasion. Just going to have to resize that one a little bit as we do adjust. Thank you guys so much for the donations. God damn. So generous. And I'm going to get the maps for these guys. And we are going to be on the Essence of Chaos for our first map, which is a very small, bloody map. It's going to be fast and furious. All right. Yeah, this one is best out of 5. Yes, so this one is going to be best of 5. And they're going to switch the maps. Don't worry. And let's go ahead and get the screen blocker up to prevent stream sniping and shenanigans of sorts. All right, almost ready. You know, actually, I should change this name. It does look super haggard. Hang on a sec. I can actually do Shetland on occasion, make it a little bit bigger here. I mean, it still doesn't look great, but it keeps like snapping into position, which is a little bit annoying. And here we are in the grand finals on the Essence of Chaos. Wookiee has been summoned. Hot Shetland on occasion action. I haven't. Was there an update post today? Yeah, that's Wookiee. That's my lovely dog. He's such a good boy. Oh. Man. Cream of wheat. So Battlefleet Gothic, I think, costs like $29. For me, it's really worth it. If you have friends to play with, and you just want to like do some battles, it's really fun. And like honestly, the joy I've gotten from even playing like 15 battles is like worth it to me. It's really fun. Yeah. Well, we're here in the grand finals, so for anyone joining, this is it. We have Heteroi, which is going to be Zardar, Total War, and Felcon, facing off against Shetland on occasion, which is going to be Shetland Apache and Janet on occasion. I'm not sure what's going on with Janet's name there. Is it just backwards? Yeah, it's just backwards. Okay. Yeah, I just had to double check that. So we're going to have Skaven and High Elves facing off against Lizardmen and High Elves. This should be interesting. So a lot of High Elf play coming on. We're going to see who's going to be the difference maker here. Is it going to be the Skaven or the Lizardmen in the showdown? Essence of Chaos is a great one. I think the Super Bowl starts in like 40 minutes. So yeah. So you guys have a little bit of time. Yeah, I'm going to go get some more water. I'm just going through this super quick here. What a great way to spend a Sunday with you guys on this little rainy afternoon here. Skaven and lizards. I'm actually having some green tea here. Decaffeinated. Decaffeinated, actually. I don't think I need the energy. I'm feeling good. Let me let them know. Start when ready. To jump into their Discord. Cool. Yeah, Battlefield Gothic 2 is really fun. Now, to be fair, I haven't played the campaign, so I can't comment on that. But multiplayer is a blast. I love it. There's a lot of different factions to choose from, so. Alex, thank you for the $5 donation. Really appreciate it, man. Big 5-0. Well, not dollar, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. Alex, thank you, man. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream. I'm in Southern California. It's raining pretty hard right now. Actually, it's been like storming the past few days. And, you know, a lot of homes in Southern California aren't really made for heavy rain. So there's always like a lot of flooding and drama and stuff. We have a flat roof, so I had to go up and like rake the roof, like leaves off it to make sure it didn't like cause pooling. And oh God, it was gnarly. Yeah, the rain is nice. You live in Hoth? Yeah, Gothic's really fun. Who leads Clan Skyer? I'm not sure, actually. Icket Claw? Maybe? Well, you know, Walker, I can actually play Total War at full capacity, even with my hand problem, for about 4 or 5 games, but it isn't until after that it becomes an issue. So that's why I play about 4 or 5 games a day. And I've been trying to grab just like tournament players lately. You guys have probably noticed on the channel. And just play them to get like, you know, more competitive games rather than ladder. And it seems to be working pretty well, so. I know. It's a really, really fun game. Trust me. You'll like the way it looks, I guarantee it. Yeah, the rain's, it's great. All right, let me just get rid of this rat here. But yes, my Death Guard are going to be doing glorious battle today with Italian Spartacus. It's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, let's do some stretches. We have a flat roof, I said. It was what I meant to say. Ugh. Yeah, in California, it's kind of a common thing, actually. I mean, you still have drains and everything on the edges of the house, but it's like not as efficient as a, you know, sloped roof. Yeah. It's very strange for sure. Just doing some stretches here, guys. Don't mind me. As we prepare for the grand finals, Falcon and Zardar going to be High Elves and Skaven versus Lizardmen and High Elves. So there's been a bit of a trend today with Falcon's builds. He usually just brings like one of the same unit, like very powerful units, and just goes ham with them. I don't play on any betas right now. No, I'm just playing on the. There's no need to. The Festog update just came out, so yeah. Oh man. There's a lot of flat roofs in Southern Europe. Oh, okay. What an interesting topic of conversation. All right, guys. We're here in the game. It's go time. Let's get down to business and play some Warhammer tournament. Action. One-man punch that started about... You're on the finals. You're on game 1 of the finals. You're here at the best time. Now, I would still go back and watch the first couple games, but yes. All right, Wookie, thank you for helping us out on stream as always. And we're here on the Essence of Chaos, which is a very cool map. It's quite small, which I like. I definitely like putting players on it because it forces them to fight instead of hiding. Let them fight. Oh, that's good to know. Listening to me while you cook? Right on, man. High Elves are doing good today. Yeah, Spartacus plays Blood Angels in 40k. But anyways, guys, back to business. So for the armies of Shetland on occasion... Sorry, it's just a weird thing to get used to. Shetland on occasion, which is Janet on occasion, and Shetland Apache. We're going to be having the dinosaurs and the lizardmen. So look at this army. We have massive dinosaur thickness. We have Lord Mazdamundi, on his giant Zlok Beast. We have 2 Rev Crystals and 2 Feral Bastillodons. Just straight up dinosaur ramrodding. Just massive angry dinosaur force. And for the armies of the High Elves, and that's going to be controlled by Jaina on occasion, we have the Signs of Methlon, who are going to be giving that fat damage resist aura to this entire Death Star. And then the Pyramid Company, who's going to be giving Guardian to Jabba the Hutt. Oh my god, this build is just such a meme. It is such a meme. And then in the back we do have Reaver Archers and Reaver Archers. So look at this just haggard Death Star. On top of that, we really need a Lariel for this build though. Yeah, we have a Lariel. So the Heart of Averlorn plus the double Rev Crystals, this is going to be like an indestructible wall of just pain. Of just pain. Oh my god. Okay. Hityroi is Companion Cav. Okay. What a build. This thing is just a living meme. Coming out in the finals. And for the forces of Zardar, Totawar, and Felcon, we got a front line of Skaven slaves. We do have Lord Skrolk, of course, and a Hell Pit Abomination, who's going to be the saving grace here. I mean, this Hell Pit has a lot of work to do. We got 2 Reaver Archers on the far side. No, those are for Janet. I was like, wait. Yeah, because there's 2 High Elves, right? This will be easy to differentiate because Felcon just brought 3 Dragon Princes and the Pigeon Lady on her horse. So, I don't know. That's a lot of heavy armor to get through, but I don't know, just like narrow armies like this. I mean, the healing's going to be pretty good. And the Hell Pit Abomination, it's going to have to do a lot of work. It's going to have to do a lot of work. This is a very, very... Look at Romulan in chat. Were you scheming with them, Romulan? Is this your doing? Oh my god. Start when ready. I cannot wait to see how this build goes. See, and this is what's kind of fun about the Wild West element of things, like not having strict rules, because you get to see stuff like this. Yeah. Let's see if the Rev Crystal can only target Lizardmen. Yeah, it can only target Lizardmen. Great point. Nonetheless, though, Alariel has plenty of healing, and the Rev Crystals are mainly just to keep Jabba the Hutt plus these Bastillodons alive. So the Bastillodons, I mean, do have good AP. It's going to be tough to chew through all those Dragon Princes, but yeah, I'm quite eager to see how they do. The Princes have some good charge targets. I mean, they could charge the White Lions, or if the Spearmen are unbraced, they could do some pretty good work as well. And it's really going to come down to some good play from these Reavers to kill the Hell Pit Abomination. Without the Hell Pit, I'm pretty sure that like this army is going to be almost like indestructible, but the Hell Pit Abomination is going to hard counter a lot of it. So. Hell, there's only 1 Pigeon Lady. Yeah, well, there's 1 on each team, so yes, there's 2 technically. So you can see that the buffs are going off. So, you know, the Guardian plus just all that. The Sunburst Standard is going to give missile resist to this entire blob here from Lord Mazda Muddy. He does have that Sunburst Standard of Hexwaddle, which is going to be great. So they're just advancing. They don't care. They're like, come what may. We're just going to move forward, and we're just going to attack whatever's closest and just tear out all these filthy Skaven slaves. So Zardar taking a note out of Janet's book, just going super wide with the slaves, but he does, of course, have the Hell Pit Abomination in lieu of the 2 Assassins, which was used by Janet on occasion earlier, or Shellen on occasion, or I can't remember who was Skaven. But anyways, Jabba the Hutt's going to be getting in here, just running these guys down, just trampling them. The Bastillodons just ramrodding these Skaven, so definitely quite happy with themselves. And they're just going to be sticking and moving, just straight up moving around, having a good old time up on the high ground. The High Elves are going to be skirmishing in the back, so Janet with these guys are going to be chasing down into the Slingers, which is great. So beautiful play here by Janet and Shetland so far, getting great harass in the back, shutting down some of these missiles, and realizing that the other army, all the Dragon Princes are going to be committing to this blob here. So the Lizardmen just dino roll. Look at them just charging, just in a blob. Oh my god, this is just so haggard. Look at this go. Now, Jabba does have a net, so he could net down one of these Dragon Princes, but Felcon with some very good charging here, but not wanting to commit to the main fight. So a little bit of damage going off. The Skaven are getting punished pretty hard in the back. And I mean, these Skaven are going to run off the battlefield. So, I mean, each one of these is 200 gold. So very, very good play with these Reaver Archers. And these are the Heralds of the Wind. So they're actually one of the fastest units in the game. They have a 105 speed. Yeah, as far as like skirmish cav go, they are. But anyways, the main blob is still moving around. The dinosaurs just having a good old time. The Spearmen moving up. The Pigeon Queen for Janet getting a little bit beat up here. He actually gets caught, I think, with the Libra Bubonicus. Oh no, and the big Hell Pit Abomination's coming in. This is really not good. I mean, if Janet loses Alariel this early, that could be disastrous. And you can see Felcon comes in with a huge lancing charge. And it looks like Jabba's going to be dropping something here, maybe a banishment of some sort. I'm not sure. Yeah, the banishment does hit a couple of the Dragon Princes, but it looks like Felcon, of course, very on top of his micro, is able to get away. But Janet is still doing a very good job in the back. These Reaver Archers are just cleaning up shop, killing a lot of these Slingers. Unfortunately, some of them do rally at the edge of the map for Shetland on occasion. But yeah, the Dino Blob is still holding strong. But look at this. Janet's Alariel should be with the Blob, and she's gotten isolated. She's being spanked, and I really think that this could be the deciding factor. If Alariel goes down here and gets surrounded, that could just be game. So far, very, very good play by Zardar and Felcon, capitalizing on one slip-up. And that's the thing about Death Stars. You have to play that very tight game. So now it's really just down to the Dino Blob. Can the dinosaurs just grind this one out and just kill the Skaven army and force the Dragon Princes into combat? I don't know. The Reavers in the back still doing their thing. One of them's a little bit beat up, of course. Falcon's Alarielle is helping out, and she's going to be able to fight okay against those guys. She has a pretty good combat stats, actually. 47 and 67. So she should be able to beat those Reaver archers. And the Dinosaur Death Star is getting a little bit tattered up here, guys. Having some problems. I think the main thing, of course, is losing Alarielle, and the Helped Abomination over the course of a long, grindy fight is going to be able to win this. It's going to be able to kind of beat down these big dinosaurs. And, like, maybe if all these Bastillodons attack the Helped Abomination and get, like, a full surround, they might be able to kill it. But the Dragon Princes have been able to get rid of the High Elf troops. So the Spearmen here, the Scions of Methlon, are simply going to get chased off the battlefield by Skaven slaves. So far, the Dragon Princes and the Skaven hordes doing a pretty good job. And you can see the bounce power starting to shift. Bastillodons don't have the best leadership. They're already shaken from being surrounded, and Lord Jabba the Hutt's doing his best. But, Zardar Skrolk's actually taking some damage. If Jabba could actually get on Skrolk, maybe, but the Dragon Princes are kind of just pinning everyone in, and the Helped Abomination is completely on its own in a good way, in that it's just kind of beating down this one Bastillodon over here. It's not being attacked by anything else. It's happy, it's cozy, it's well-fed, and yeah, things are going good. So Janet's Skirmish Cav in the back from Shetland on occasion are doing an okay job, but it looks like they've been fended off for the most part. Some Skaven slave summons, or Skaven summons. Are those summons even? No, it doesn't look like it. They're just regular ones. But Alarielle was able to finish them off, and all of the initial harass that Janet did, which was quite good. Unfortunately, though, the Skaven slave slingers did not go off the map, so they're going to be coming back and making a big difference. And it looks like the dinosaur meat blob is not going to work out. It just seems that the one Helped Abomination is the name of the game. Like, without this Helped, I really think that this blob could just kind of march and survive all the cycle charges and could just endure. I mean, look how durable it is right now. They're holding pretty damn hard, but the Helped Abomination is just chewing these guys. Yeah, the Walmart Galadriel. Oh, my lovely wife is in chat. Super hot wife, Lady Turin, making an appearance from the lands of Poland. Lord Mazdamundi is going to be fighting here in the pits. Lord Skrolk's coming in, but I really think that Jabba the Hutt, and now he's getting picked apart a little bit. Some of the dinosaurs, of course, the feral dinosaurs don't have good leadership, so. But with Alarielle, I think with Janet's Alarielle, they might have been able to hold on longer, and I don't know. You know, I feel like Bretonia might have been pretty good with his army composition as well, with like Mist of the Lady to kind of debuff and grind everyone out, because their damage output just isn't good enough to take down a Helped Abomination. Maybe like a Feral Carnosaur or something would have been really nice as well to help against the Dragon Princes plus the Helped. They just had no anti-large, really, and I think that was their doom. From here, you can see the Dinosaur Blob from Shetland on occasion is going to be falling in Game 1. A very badass build. Very creative, cool stuff. But alas, it just was not up to fighting this big rat beast, and also, of course, the Dragon Prince cycle charging from Falcon was really good, and it was able to just kill all of the spearmen and the high elf infantry that were kind of anchoring the bottom. Maybe Phoenix Guard could have been able to hold, but even still, the cycle charging against unbraced units is very, very punishing. And the last of the dinosaurs are going to be going down. I'm pretty sure Shetland Apache left the game, and as did Janet. Yes, it is time. It is time. So that's going to be Game 1 for Zardar Total War and Falcon Tyroy. So let's go ahead and update the scoreboard here. And we'll get the Wookiee back. Thank you, Wookiee, for appearing in our hour of need. And make sure GG. Great game. It was a very cool build, but I just think the Helped Abomination was really the thing that... The Helped Abomination plus the Alarielle getting caught out in the open was pretty rough. I think that's what really cost him the game. It could have worked, I think, if Alarielle had stayed a little bit closer, but... Scarvets on Carnosaurs would have been good. They would have held for quite some time. Yes. Resistant pieces. Yeah. So this one is going to be Tomb Kings and Counts for Falcon and Zardar, and Dwarves. Shetland Apache's he's a dwarf dude. He plays the dwarves. He's good at them. And Janet's going to be playing Vampire Counts, which is going to be quite fun. The Death Stars, yeah. Here's the maps here. Next one is going to be Warpstone Mine, which is an open field map. Very good for the dwarves. There's a lot of like high ground positions they can camp on and have cannons and have fun. So William McCoy says, if Star Wars taught us anything, it's that Death Stars never work out. I mean, Death Stars can work. That certainly was not a meta fight. That was a very strange fight, but it was very fun. Oh, man. Oh, that was a cool build, though, from Shetland and Janet. You have to admit. Just the Mazdamundi Dino Blob. Hey, but you got to experiment, you know, or else you're never going to learn anything new. Alexander Marsh coming in with the Let's Go champs. Let's go, indeed. The Extreme Meme Team, helmed by, championed by Falcon today in Zardar Total War. And Shetland Apache and Janet on occasion with Some very good initial play. I love Janet's skirmish play. It was really solid. And, you know, Shetland's build was really cool too, but it just didn't have enough to deal with the help hit. Anna, do you really think the beard is getting prouder? I was actually going to shave it before you got back, just to spare you. But, I mean, if you, with your permission, with your bidding, I'll keep it. Oh, man. You know, CK, I would love to hold Battlefleet Gothic tournaments. The problem being is that there's no way for me to spectate games, and there's no replay system, so I'm not able to do that at the moment. Yes. It's true. No, I haven't played the Coast Beta. I didn't even know there was one. To be fair, Mr. Ozen. Just doing my stretches. I mean, Vampire Coast Tomb Kings, or not Vampire Coast, Tomb Kings and Vampire Counts was, when we had our first ever 2v2 tournament on the channel, was very strong. Like the fact that you could cast Invocation on the big constructs, which I still think you can. Yeah. Dove. It's just extra stimulation. Oh, God. Oh, my God. That's pretty funny. Oh my God, this build. These builds are just so out of control today, guys. They're just out of control. Well, Anna, I'll let you be the judge of it. You can decide when you see it. I've gotten a little bit attached to it. Because sometimes there's like a little piece of food in there that I can save for later. No, I don't play Vermintide. It looks great, but I don't like to play games that require like spam clicking for hours straight. So, just because it's hard in my hand. Otherwise, I would play it. Occasionally you do see Kalita. I've seen her in a couple tournaments. She's not as good as like Arkin or Cetra or Kotep even, but I still think she's not terrible. She's fast, she's armor piercing, she has poison, she has a couple decent abilities. Like, what's to complain, you know? Matthew just poured a massive glass of scotch. We're in it. We're in it for the finals. Here we go. Oh, the Hypno Wookie. Yeah, he's a crusty old boy. Interesting stuff. Very controversial picks here coming in. Very controversial. The Dino Star didn't work. No, it tried its heart out, but alas, it was not able to make the grade. You can play Vermintide with the controller if you have one. Yeah, the controllers are actually pretty tough on me. Okay, so yeah, we're on the right map, the Warpstone Mine. And I'll let them know, start when ready. We'll see what foul schemes are afoot here. Yeah, I've been doing a pretty good stretching routine, actually. Like, I have, like, every hour on the hour, I do a couple stretches that are really helpful. I've gone through a couple phases. I've had a Jesus hair at one point. I had pretty long hair, just straight up going down to the shoulders. Who remembers that? A 2v2 tabletop tournament? Could be interesting. Maybe if they played the same race. You know? I could do like a 2v2 tabletop tournament. That could be kind of fun. Just from casting purposes. Yeah, guys. Vampire dwarfs with invincible corner geometry. I mean, yeah, dwarf thunder plus... And Shetland knows how to use thunders very well. So if we saw some dwarf thunder, like with the vampire counts chaff front line, just holding things up, that could be pretty nasty with some rune support. Yeah. Wicked D, I will take that so hard, dude. I will take that so hard. It was the dark ages of Turin's hair. Oh my god. Now let's see. I really want to show you guys the army, but just in case some of the other guys are listening in on the stream just to be part of the chat. Ooh, that is pretty good. That's pretty good. Zardar's army's pretty good. Controversial. Very controversial. You know, my hair's almost long enough to get a mullet. Wookiee's a dog. Yes. And let's go, champ. Let's go. Hey, and if you guys are just hanging out right now while we wait for this next game to start, make sure to drop a like on the stream. I personally hate asking for it, but it does help out from a business perspective quite a bit. So, like the streams that typically get more likes are shared more by YouTube, so it does help, get a wider audience to Total War Warhammer. So, I would greatly appreciate it, my dudes. Oh. Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen... Yeah, Shadow Walkers are a bit of a... they might have a niche in 2v2. Shadow Walkers are the unique unit for Nagarath. They're basically like these Shadow Warriors, but more juiced up. They're very powerful in melee and pretty decent range attacks. In 2v2, they might be good in like a very small funds game where they aren't going to be swarmed. Perhaps that could be a niche for them. We have had several Skaven matches. The last game had very good Skaven play, and the first game of the day was a very solid Skaven game as well. And Skaven have had a great run in this 2v2 format. They've actually, I think, won every single game today. Yes. Yeah, thank you, Matthew. Yeah, we just hit 60,000 subs. We just hit 60K. So that's pretty awesome. Yeah, we got to... I mean, I guess the Eternal Challenger League will be the celebration for 60K next weekend. Lady Eternal will be here too. It's going to be great. Life will be good once again. I won't just be all lonely with Wookiee, just sitting in the rain all sad. Yeah, lots of the same factions. Yeah, I was a little bit sad about Dawn of War 3. I was really hoping that would be good. Cody Bear says, donates $5, so thank you for that, and says, it would be cool to see Vampire Count frontline for Empire gunnery with Warrior Priest and Lore of Life. So, let's see, Vampire Count frontline for Empire with Empire guns and a Warrior Priest buffing up the Undead. That would be pretty strange. Although, I don't think Lore of Life can heal Undead. Not sure. Yeah, man, Empire Vampire Counts could be that could be pretty strong. And I mean, I guess that could happen in lore. Doesn't that kind of happen in the end times anyways? Cody, thank you for the donation. And Jason Denny with another $19.99. Give me that discount price. The lady demands likes. Thank you, man. Thank you. Holy shit, Jason. You're always donating consistently, man. I just want to sincerely thank you. Helps quite a bit. Likes for the like god. All right. Looks like the players are saying something. Do it. Janet's name is like tripping me out today. If you guys haven't seen Janet's glorious channel, make sure to check him out. He has a pretty different style of doing his replays. He does a lot of cinematic shots and stuff. So if you guys are into that, definitely a great place. He does Gothic too. So if you guys have been enjoying Gothic channel on my content, he puts up a lot more than I do, and he's been doing it since like the beta. Spartacus as a Skaven slave. What? How's that even become a thing? Oh my god. All right, so it looks like the forces of Shetland on occasion are ready. Falcon and Zardar making their final tunes to their army here. And they've changed their builds at least 3 or 4 times. Like, the builds have been so back and forth here. Fly on Bread, thanks for the $5 donation, man. Hopefully you're enjoying the 2v2. Oh, man. Lore of Life heals Undead for some reason. It does? Okay, Black Phillip, good to know. Yeah, you play a lot of 2v2, so... Subs for the sub throne. Shadow Raptor says, Turin, I just want to say I love your content. I'm happy to finally catch a live stream. Well, I'm glad you're here, man. Welcome. Welcome. And yeah, this is game 2. So obviously the army picking is a little bit slower here, in the 2v2 because there's many more nuances. So bear with me. But hey, I don't mind just chatting with you guys. And is that a Sid 6 with a 200? I forget what that is. The Swedish krona. Yeah, so that's $22. So thank you for the $22, man. Really appreciate it. Likes for the like god. Sid coming in rock hard. You guys are killing it today, man. Thank you. Bringing tears to my eyes. Yes, good. Sparty definitely has some Skaven in him. I think he's too big to be a Skaven. Maybe like a Rat Ogre, if anything. Sparty's a husky dude. Quite built and strong. Robust. Alright, so let's go ahead here and get rid of the Wookiee. for now. He will return in the next game. And this is actually one of my favorite maps. I always like kind of wished I could like hide a character in there, like at the end of this chasm, and they have to like come fight me in a last stand. But yeah, it's kind of a thing. But yeah, this is going to be the Warpstone Mine, which is very cool. It looks like it's one of the great. Is that one of the some warp meteor or something? You can see the Skaven look like they have some industry here where they're going to be harvesting this. Although this map actually came from, I think from the first DLC ever, which was the not the King and the Warlord. It was the one before that. It was the Vampire Count in the Empire when you got Gorst versus frickin' Volkmar the Grim. Like Gorst, what? Oh my god. It's time. All right. Here we are, game 2. So currently there's going to be a 1-0 lead for the forces of Hetairoi, which is going to be Zardar, Total War, and the mighty Felcon from the Extreme Meme team. And they're going to be facing off against the Dwarves of Shetland on occasion, which is Shetland Apache and Jaina on occasion, for anyone who's joining. But very nasty builds here. Zombies in the front line here for the forces of the Undead, who are going to be led by Janet. He does, of course, have the Necrarch Vampire Lord, who does have the ability to do Purple Sun, Spirit Leech. Yeah, so he's kind of like Manfred. He has a couple Lore of Death and Lore of Vampire spells, which is going to be good. We got 2 Dwarven Bolt Throwers, which are going to be a great answer versus big targets. Not so much against a wide army like this. So, I mean, they could probably honestly just sit and shoot at the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord all day. We got Dwarven Thunders in the back, Zombos in the front line, double Vargulfs. Those boys are going to be thick and mean. Vargulfs are nasty with healing. So, I mean, what in this army can kill Vargulfs? Necropolis Knights have a pretty good chance, especially with Arc in the Black, but they're really going to have to do a great job. For the rest of the Dwarf army, we have a Rune Lord, we have a Rune Smith, a couple Thunders, and a couple Bolt Throwers with the Ulthar's Raiders in the back. So this is a proper Dwarven gun line here. Very, very solid stuff. We've got 3 of these guns, and then we also have Ulthars to mark, and the Rune Magic to support the flanks, and then also 2 Bolt Throwers. So it's really going to come down to Janet to defend the flanks. And he should be able to with the Vargulfs and the Necrarch Vampire Lord. This is a great army. I'm really liking this army from Shetland on occasion. And for the forces of Hetairoi, which is going to be Felcon and Zardar, we have a whole front line of just skeleton warriors. Secondary line of Graveguard with great weapons. Looks like the Stearnsman and great weapons, obviously to deal with dwarvish infantry, but it's not going to be terribly useful against the zombies. I mean, it's still decent. But there's going to be a Necromancer with Raised Dead in the back. We have 2 groups of the Carrion up in the skies, which are going to be good. Some disruption elements against the dwarves. And Necropolis Knights are going to have their backs are going to be very strained by the end of this battle. These boys have some heavy lifting to do against those double Vargulfs. Blood Dragon Vampire Lord and Arc in the Black with his Purple Sun. So there's a lot of Vortex abilities. We got Purple Sun here, and then there's Purple Sun over here for the forces of Shetland on occasion. Yeah. Yeah. It is time. So, here we go, guys. The Bolt Throwers are going to be shooting downtown. Let's see what they're going to be focusing. Probably, honestly, just going after like Stearnsman or Graveguard with great weapons or trying to snipe the Necromancer are all pretty good choices. But we're going to see. So the first Bolt Thrower shots are coming downtown. They're going to be tearing into the Necromancer, it looks like. And yeah, they're going after the Necromancer and these Graveguard with great weapons, it looks like. So that's a good choice. Just kill that Necromancer, get rid of another summoning battery, and all will be well in the realm. Yeah, and to answer your question real quick before the main fighting starts. In 40K, I'm a huge fan of Death Guard and Nurgle stuff. And in Fantasy, Dwarves are my favorite. So, yes. In the front line, Zombies just kind of waiting for the inevitable approach of Skeleton Warriors. And Zombos will hold out for quite some time, especially with the Vargulf support and more summons from the Necrarch Vampire Lord. You don't need a whole lot here. And the Thunders, if used correctly with Rune Magic, should be able to punish these Graveguard with great weapons. But there is a bit of flank pressure coming in. So Zardar and Felcon do have some skeletons coming up around here. Zombos are going to be having to intercept those guys. And Necropolis Knights are getting ready to party as well. And the Vargulfs have been pulled in. It looks like they were kind of hiding in the back just in case there was like Ushapti Great Bows or anything. But now they're here, and they're just going to be waiting to intercept the heavy force. So Thunders are going to be shooting in. The Bolt Thrower is still going after the Necromancer, and the Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin being dropped here. Thunders are shooting in, so Shetland Apache needs to make sure to finish off these Thunders. And now this is some good dwarf positioning, having layers of fire. So even if these guys get jumped by anything, the other ones can still shoot. They're not bunched up in like a very straight kind of spaghetti line like you often see here. So the Runes of Wrath and Ruin still going down on the Graveguard with great weapons. Thunder Fire is now going to be coming in. Ulthar's Raiders just kind of waiting patiently. And I love how Zombies are defending Bolt Throwers. That is so hilarious. But yeah, Necromancer's still doing his thing. The Bolt Throwers, let's see where they're shooting now. They're still going after the Necromancer. So one of them's going after the Necromancer, and it looks like the other one might be going after the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, or maybe these guys up in the sky. Anyway, Spirit Leech going down to the Necromancer, so it looks like there's going to be some focus fire. He'll probably crumble very quickly. And the Rune Lord and the Rune Smith are going to help the zombie front line actually do well. Now let's see what the Thunders are going to be targeting. It looks like Jaina on occasion is going to be pulling his Necrarch Vampire Lord over. Is he going to be dropping some sort of a vortex? I'm not sure. Looks like there's some witchcraft going on here. And these are the Sternsmen of Zardar. They've been marked by Althar, so I have a feeling that all the Dwarf guns are going to be switching onto the Sternsmen here. And you can see the first volley from the Althar's Raiders are going to be coming in, doing some good damage. It does get rid of their parry, and a couple more volleys should be able to do some good work. Yeah, the frontline fight, the Dwarves are helping those zombies hold. Now, on the flank, the Eyes of the Desert, let's see where they're going. So these Thunders are still shooting in, just shooting, unfortunately, at Skeleton Warriors and Chaff. These zombies rotating out to intercept the Skeleton Warriors. The zombie flank defense is just masterful. The Varghulfs, in the meantime, are going to be beating down the Graveguard, which is a very good choice. They have massive armor piercing, and Janet, on occasion, definitely has the power kind of melee advantage here. Carrion are going to be jumping onto the Thunders, but they should be able to fight them back. Thunders are basically like Dwarf Warriors in terms of their combat prowess, but the Thunder Overwatch fire is going to be really nasty. The Eyes of the Desert have been poured into the front line to kind of break through and just allow the guns to be compromised. Necrarch Vampire Lord going to be dropping some summons to kind of halt the advance. But in the time that the Necropolis Knights are going to be fighting here in the front, they're going to be getting pounded by the Dawi Thunder. Plus the Bolt Throwers are also shooting in. But the main issue for the forces of Janet and Shetland is that their front line is very flimsy with zombies, so if they do get compromised in the back, it could be a little bit ugly. But so far, I mean, the zombies are doing a good job holding things up. The Thunders have been shooting for quite some time, and the Eyes of the Desert are very beat up now. Yeah, well, not very. I guess they're at about 60%. They are still getting some healing with Invocation of the Hex, so beautiful play so far. But the Dwarf Rune Lord from Shetland Apache actually gets bullied a little bit. So it looks like Ark in the Black plus the Necrarch, not the Necrarch Vampire Lord, that's on his team, but Ark in the Black plus the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord with the Helm of Discord are able to really punish the Rune Lord, who's actually on an anvil, which makes him a large target for these Eyes of the Desert here, who are actually pretty healthy. And ooh, suddenly a very scary situation. Spirit Leech coming down, but on the anvil, he does have very good magic resist, so it's not going to be the end of the world, but he is broken, which is tough. Thunders are having to fall back from Skeleton Summons from Ark in the Black. And we have a very even battle. The two Varghulfs are still running rampant, I would imagine. Let's see where those guys are. So main fighting over here, mainly just skeletons and zombies between the two teams. And it looks like the Varghulfs have piled in here. So the Varghulfs are going to be going after the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, it looks like. Unfortunately, the Rune Lord for the Dwarves is at negative 48 leadership. He's in bad shape. But the Varghulf coming in with the Steel Gorilla Paws. And they're going to be doing a lot of damage. I mean, if the Eyes of the Desert are able to get focused down by the remnants of the Dwarven firing force, that would be good. But if the Eyes of the Desert can get onto the Varghulfs, that's going to be bad. So the Dwarf Lord has died for the forces of Shetland on occasion. Janet, of course, trying to retaliate, getting these Varghulfs and beating down Ark in the Black. And Varghulfs are really good at that. A nice little Rune of Wrath and Ruin going down on the Necropolis Knights to slow them, but they still have 35 speed, which isn't terrible. And unfortunately, the Dwarf gun line is being forced back by a lot of these skeleton summons from the forces of Hetyroi here. The zombie hordes are advancing as well, so it looks like the front line of zombies, which was relying very heavily on the Dwarven Thunder, has pretty much faltered. And these massive horde of the Undead are pouring through, but it's certainly not over. The double Varghulfs are still in pretty good shape, and I mean, they've got Arkin plus this Blood Dragon Vampire Lord very low. The Necrarch Vampire Lord's in the wrong neighborhood, though. The Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, definitely the of the duelist cast, is going to be able to lay just a big old whoop in here. But you can see the one of the Varghulfs is coming in, so he's going to try and fight. And the Varghulfs are now piling in, so it's going to buy some time for the Necrarch Vampire Lord, and he gets a nice little club right there. But the Eyes of the Desert really need to be shut down, and you can see here that Shetland Apache's kiting back with his Dwarf Thunders, just waiting for these Skeleton Warriors to kind of disappear, which isn't a bad choice. But, I mean, they're still full health, so if the game does go on really long and the summons start to dissipate for the Undead forces, I mean, but that's going to go both ways, but I don't know. These Varghulfs are going to be really tough to deal with. As long as the Necrarch Vampire Lord can summon Chaff on top of the Varghulfs and just let them kind of beat on the high-value targets, he's going to be in good shape, and a very nice Spirit Leech coming in. So Spirit Leech coming in from the Necrarch Vampire Lord and Janet on top of the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord. And, oh man, the Dwarf Runesmith, unfortunately, is broken, and he's still very healthy. How did he even break? He's so damn healthy. What could have happened? I mean, it's not a terror route. But, yeah, maybe if the Varghulfs can rescue that Runesmith, that could be pretty nice. But on that same note, the fact that they are going to be spending a lot of time chasing that Runesmith over there does buy time for the Varghulfs and other troops to kind of secure the Dwarven back line. And the Dwarves here are now just going to be fighting against the Carrion and should be able to beat them. I mean, they're going to take a couple casualties. These Thunders should come back online as well. But Felcon being very persistent with the Skeleton Warriors, kind of chasing here. And the Varghulfs just using their Gorilla Pounding to finish off the Graveguard of the Hetyroi and Felcon and Zardar over here. So very, very close game so far, guys. Very, very close game. A little bit of lag here, so hopefully none of the players disconnect. Because it's still pretty much down to the wire here, so hopefully no one crashes. And it looks like we're good. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Ugh. I know that Zardar said that his internet can sometimes act up, so hopefully he's good. But it looks like we're still going. We're still going strong here. Come on. Hold on. Yes. Yes. Nobody disconnected. That's what I'm talking about. But the Runesmith here is going to be taken out by the forces of Zardar and Felcon, so... Well, I mean, they're all the way over here, and they're not helping in the main battle anymore. It might have been more prudent just to send, like, one unit to chase that guy off, because it's going to take a while to actually kill him. And it looks like the Varghulfs in the back are actually able to kind of stabilize the back line. He's just using them, using their mobility. They have 80 speed, and they're just going to be beating down these Skeleton Warriors, crumbling them, and freeing up the Dawi Thunders. So that's not a bad tactic. I mean, the Dwarf guns are still in good shape. Dwarf guns on the far side are being chased. Oh my god, they're just like running into the to the sunset here, being hunted down by these skeleton warriors. And 2 skeleton warriors can probably beat down a group of thunders, which is going to be a little bit tough. But these skeletons are being picked apart. They're in critical binding, -5, so they're going down. But they are, you know, they are wasting a lot of the time here. The other Vargulf is going to be working on the Graveguard with great weapons. But now you can see that Zardar and Felcon have realized that chasing the Runesmith is not really worth their time. Oh, are they going back to finish him off? No, they're just going to be sending the Blooddragon Vampire Lord, I think, and maybe going to polish off this other group of Thunderers here, which isn't a bad choice. Just get these free kills. That's really going to influence the bounce of power. But currently, the bounce of power is a little bit in the favor of Janet and Shetland. So Shetland on occasion actually pulling back here in this very long, grindy game. The Dwarves are kind of repositioning themselves, shooting downtown, and the Vargulf mobility, I think, is just a huge factor here. I mean, these Vargulfs are going to be just fat gorilla beatdown squads. And if you can somehow pick apart these like chaff of Zardar, like the Sternsman and Graveguard, well, they're not chaff, but pick apart those forces. A lot of the summons of the Undead Legions are starting to get worn down. And now you can see that Shetland is going to be focusing his dwarves onto the great weapons. The Vargulfs are going to be charging in, and they have good armor piercing themselves. They have 290 weapon strength with really, really good AP. So they're going to just be kind of gorilla pounding this force. Now, I wonder what type of magic the Necrarch Vampire Lord has left. He's at his healing cap, so there's not going to be any more healing. So Janet needs to be very careful and just kind of use him as a bit of a caster lord and maybe swoop in at the last moment to finish something off. Over here, these Dwarf Thunders have been pretty much hunted down. Skeleton Warriors will chase them. But the Eyes of the Desert, well, not Eyes of the Desert, but the Necropolis Knights and the Skeleton Warriors, Arkin, and the Blooddragon Vampire Lord are coming back, but they're very beat up. And this Runesmith, the little Runesmith that could, coming back here. He's going to be marching back to the battlefield, just grumbling, angry, with the Althar's Raiders. Now remember, these Althar's Raiders are hidden, and they have Marked by Althar still, so they can still get that off and make a huge difference in the battle. And currently, the forces of Zardar and Felcon are being torn apart. Like, they're just kind of being dragged into through the meat grinder here by these Vargulfs who are just slowly whittling down all these troops. Where's the Necrarch Vampire Lord? It looks like he's just working on skeletons, which is a good choice. But eventually these Thunders will be caught. But maybe the Vargulfs can, you know, do some work against him. But yeah, these Skeleton Warriors are going to be crumbling. The Thunders are going to be having to run to the edge of the map, and they're going to be going down to the Necropolis Knights. So what a crazy game. What a crazy game here. So Thunders are running low on ammo, so soon they're probably just going to be used as melee troops. Shooting into the Graveguard, which is definitely the things they want to get rid of. And are these Necropolis Knights going to be able to finish off the Vargulfs? That's really going to be the name of the game here. The rest of the troops are just being gorilla pounded. These Graveguard are getting very low. Necrarch Vampire Lord coming in. But more importantly, the Dwarves are actually rallying. It's like that scene in The Hobbit when like Thorin and the Dwarves run out of the keep. And this is something. So right here you can see that the Necrarch Vampire Lord and the Vargulf still just gorilla pounding these guys. Thunders are probably going to turn and fight in melee. This other Vargulf, unfortunately these Thunders are probably going to break off the map. And you can see even that the Bolt Thrower crew is fighting and going fisticuffs. The Eyes of the Desert get a... Eyes of the Desert. They're just Necropolis Knights! They're not Eyes of the Desert. God, why can't I remember that? But the Vargulfs are coming in to start gorilla pounding on these guys, and I think it's time to just go fisticuffs. Both players need to commit all their resources. And if the Necrarch Vampire Lord... Ooh, he gets up in the skies! Is that a Flock of Doom? No, that's a curse. So that's a curse coming down from Ark and Black because he was dropped below a certain threshold. These Thunders are going to be kiting, and it looks like the Runesmith's coming back. A Rune of Wrath and Ruin could be really good here. But what a close fight. The two Vargulfs just going to the bitter end. Necrarch Vampire Lord just cackling. He does use Dark Protection, which actually gives him damage resist against that Spirit Leech. So that's some really nice play there. The bounce power is normalizing a little bit, but the Vargulfs need to focus down the Necropolis Knights. A very good indication of Nehet coming down. And the Ushabti summon, which has been held in the back pocket this entire game, has been used. So at this point, it might be prudent for Janet on occasion and Shetland to retreat their forces. Maybe just get the Vargulfs back and run away while the Ushabti do kind of desummon and get on top of the Runesmith. Oh no, a very risky move. Janet sends in the Necrarch Vampire Lord to fight the Blooddragon Vampire Lord. That is so risky. Now the Vargulf is helping with its gorilla pounding, but it's also very surrounded here. There's Ushabti, there's Eyes of the... Necropolis. They're goddamn Necropolis Knights, alright? Goodness gracious. But anyways, the Necrarch Vampire Lord should not have taken that engagement. He's just getting pounded now. He's taking a lot of damage. And now you can see the bounce of power is coming back into the favor of the Extreme Meme team, or the champion of the Extreme Meme team. So Felcon and Zardar Total War. But man, what a game. The Runesmith's coming back. The Mark by Althar is going to be coming down. I don't think there's any Thunders left. Yeah, it looks like these ones are broken off the map here. And the two Vargulfs need to get out of there. They just go stack on top of the Runesmith. Get some support. And the fact that the Necrarch Vampire Lord has taken so much damage is the main reason why the bounce of power is shifting so heavily. If he had just retreated there, like maybe, you know, fallen back here, and then those Ushabti would have just disappeared because they're a summoned unit. But the Vargulfs now are just kind of being bullied by just sheer numbers. Blooddragon Vampire Lord was able to heal up a little bit with the hunger, it looks like. And it looks like there's going to be a fat skeleton summon coming down. And Janet, and it looks like Janet and Shetland are going to be bowing out of the game. Wow. What a battle. What a battle. I mean, that was down to the wire. Very well played to all players. What a scrappy 2v2 fight. Oh my goodness. So Zardar and Felcon able to barely take that game. I love Janet's build. It was so cool with the Vargulfs. I think that maybe a tactical retreat there back to the Runesmith, like and kiting a little bit, could have maybe done it. I don't know. It was so close. It was so close. Both teams played so well. And yeah, the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, Arkan, and the Necropolis Knights actually ended up doing pretty well. Yeah. What a game. So that's going to be 2-0 for Felcon and Zardar here, guys. And this is a best of 5, so this is potentially the last game of the stream, depending on how things go. So let us go and see what is afoot. Yeah, it's a best of 5. It's an OP. All right, guys. And we're back. Here we go. 2-0. Right now, it's a best of 5. It's pretty close. Man, that was a great game. Well played to both teams. So they're sending over. They forgot to send over their third list, so. Vargulf is just a misunderstood soul. He was really nice when you get to know him. Oh man, it's been quite an adventure with you guys today. Super Bowl just started. We still have 1,000 people strong. Good times for all. We have the Bretonnians and Chaos against Bretonnians and Dark Elves. This is going to be a little bit tricky to cast, but we're going to do our best here. Let's do some stretching. Oh man. Hey, what's going on? The Cartrix, welcome. Oof. I would love to see some greenskins. It's going to be Bretonnia Dwarves, actually. Okay. I'll take it. Yeah, it's pretty late over where my lovely wife is, in the lands of Poland. Well, it's, what is it, like 11 right now? It's not too bad, I guess. Let's get the laptop charger plugged in, so my laptop doesn't die and I can keep chatting with you guys. Oh, man. You guys want the Green Knight? Green Knight can be fun. Oh, the Super Bowl doesn't start for over an hour? Oh, my apologies. I know, Garland. I could not remember that. I'm just so not used to seeing them that it just... Ugh. God. If some of the mods in chat could drop Discord links, that would definitely be helpful. If you could. Dwarf Infantry and Bretonnian Cav? Perhaps. Perhaps. I could tell them to maybe avoid the mirror. Want me to? Although, it's what they want to play. They probably have something in mind. Oh, man. The Mega Rock is so fun in Armada. I love that ship. Orcs are so great. Oh, yeah. Next weekend, guys, Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're going to be having the Eternal Challenger League Grand Finals, which are going to be quite a bit of fun. The cultists are going restless. Doing my hand stretches. Should probably stand up for some of these. Oh, man. Getting old, guys. The big 3-0. Oh, man. All right. Next week's going to be quite a marathon. Reptile King's doing... he did well earlier. Yeah, their team got eliminated, but they put up a good fight. Do Dark Shards shoot with Archer Arcs? Yeah, they do. Yeah, they don't have line of sight issues, really. I mean, of course, if you're... Yeah, circumstantially, but... I don't know what the armies are. Let me actually take a look. I don't know if I can. For some reason, I'm not in spectator mode, so start when ready. Oh, change map. Yeah, okay. Shetland Apache on the ball. So that Bretonnian army is pretty much as expected. I can't see Shetland, so I'm not sure what's going to be coming in. Green Knight. You guys want the Green Knight? T. Barrett, you're 45, but I have the hands and the hands of a 70-year-old. Yeah. Ugh. You turned 30 on Monday. Well, happy birthday, Mr. Crooker. Use my feet to cast. I'm just sitting here with my feet up. Just, oh my god, like a mic, like suspended. Oh man. Falcon making a couple tweaks to his army. We're going to be on a very classic tournament map here, which is going to be. I'm not even going to try that because I'm going to mangle it. Yes, yes. Yeah, Dark Shards kind of work like bow units in terms of their arc of fire. Yeah. Here we are. Dark Elves. Dark Elves are definitely going to be pretty nasty here. They have plenty of armor piercing. Pretty good anti-cav options as well with their cheap spears and Cold One Knights. Cold One Knights obviously will lose head-to-head against like Grail Knights and things like that, but they still put up a great fight. Especially if used defensively. I have a feeling we're going to see some bolt throwers from Janet, perhaps? Like a more defensive style of play? Maybe? I don't know. We could. No predictions. No predictions. The Dwarf Army is pretty standard stuff. Nothing wild. Just, well-rounded. Has some decent units. And Brendan... We have a donation from Brendan on PayPal of $10. Brendan, thank you. Really appreciate it. Hopefully you're enjoying the grand finals here, and it looks like we might have had someone. I think someone had to reset their client here. So, yeah, Zardar says one right. I'll double check and just make sure. It looks like Janet jumped out of the game. Let me see if they're still in chat and everything. Okay. Yeah, Janet's still online, so it looks like he's just resetting. So he'll be back in just a moment. No worries, my friends. And there he is. High Elf Archers are extremely good. Dark Shards are good. I think High Elf Archers are more efficient in terms of their cost and their range. It's like, goddamn, they do so. They're good in matchups you think they wouldn't even be good in. I've seen them be effective against like armor and like just all kinds of stuff. Janet's too fancy for this poor stream thing. Oh. The grand finals. Yes. Fire rises. We go play some 40k after this. Quite excited to take my Death Guard Legion. Janet did a flip table. I don't think he would flip the table. Yeah, this is a good map though. It's pretty open field. I'm pretty sure it's a Bretonnian map in terms of its thematics. Not sure. Looks like there's still 175 gold for one player here. He's got to slap some chevrons on. Seaguard are okay. Yeah, Lothar and Seaguard have their niches. I actually like them against some factions. Like against Beastmen and stuff, I feel like they're decent. But High Elf Archers are just so cheap. They cost like nothing, and their range is good. Their damage output's good. It's they definitely get her done. Janet is too fancy. A little bit laggy. Did Shetland just jump over? Oh, okay, I thought he switched teams. A little bit of a lag going on. I think he's resetting his router because last game I think it was him who had the lag issues. Well, maybe Falcon will just have to 2v1 them. That would be kind of be a funny way if he had to control one big army against him. Oh my god. So let me minimize and make sure there's no substantial issues that I need to find a replacement for. Nah, doesn't look like it. Okay. Yeah, Zardar's still in chat, so we're good. Yeah, Steam bugs. Oh, okay. So everyone's saying that Steam is bugging out right now. So they're just resetting their stuff. You know, honestly, a lot of the players in the tournament are from Europe. I mean, Janet is in Guernsey, Falcon, I think, is somewhere in Eastern Europe. So it just depends. I mean, yeah, there's some places that have really lag issues, but for the most part, it's not too bad. Yeah. So just gonna get Zardar back here. We'll get this show on the road. Zardar also killed his team. No problem. Take your time. We're just hanging out in chat, answering questions. Yeah, I watched part of Indie Pride's Shogun stream. Yeah. I used to play Shogun quite a bit. I used to love the Avatar Conquest mode. That was like I played Rome, Total War a lot in like high school and before and in that time period. And then I played Shogun 2 a lot towards the later years of my college. It was super fun. That's actually what kind of got me back into the game a lot, into Total War in general. Yeah. So, Zardar is back. He returns. And the players are ready for potentially what's going to be potentially the final match here. Wargame RTS series? Are you talking about... I'm not sure what you mean, Matthew. Is that going to... Are you talking about like World of Tanks and those kind of games? Okay, so all the players are readied up. Let's see if it works here. We might have to reset. Oh, I think somebody changed the funds real quick, or made a change to their army. So Zardar is going to ready up. Is it going to work? Okay, some last minute changes. I love that. All right. Good luck, Janet. Yeah, Warhammer Chaos Bane looked pretty good. Oh yeah, Alex. That's when I started my channel, was Warhammer 1, actually. Yeah. About 2 years ago, give or take. It's been a long 2 years, my friends. You hope it's not the final? It could be. I mean, Falcon and Zardar have been on a bit of a tear today. The last game was the closest game they've had, I think. They almost lost that one. I really think that game could have gone either way at the very end. It was just super well played to both players. Yeah. All right. Here we are. So let's go ahead and get rid of the screen blocker here. We're going to go ahead and get rid of this. And it's showtime. Let us see if the Dwarfs and the Bretonnians can take down the Dark Elves and the Bretonnians. So a lot of mirror matches today, so hopefully you guys don't mind that. It's a little bit tough from a casting perspective, but I think with the banners and everything you can usually tell, especially if they pick different lords. That's definitely quite helpful in different types of units and whatnot. Yeah, we saw Skaven have had a great run today. They've done very, very well for themselves. And here we are in the grand finals. Game 3. Currently, Zardar, Total War, and Falcon are up 2-0. And they're going to be facing off against Shetland on Occasion, which is Janet on Occasion and Shetland Apache, who put up great fights in both games. Very creative build. So for the forces of the Dark Elves, looks like we're going to have Malekith on his Velociraptor with the standard spell kit. Soul Stealer, Mark of Pain, that kind of stuff. Front line's going to be mostly Dread Spears, 2 Blackheart Corsairs, and then we also do have some Hargoneth Executioners. So Dark Elf going very similar, which is mass infantry, which I think is actually going to be good, because it looks like there's not too many like cav they need to worry about here. No, there's actually a couple Grail Knights, so yeah, they could be getting cycle charged into the Shadow Realm, but for the most part, decent little force, has some spears, has some infantry against the Dwarves with the Hargoneth Executioners, and plenty of shields with the Dread Spears. Malekith, of course, is good armor piercing, and for the forces of Shetland Apache, front line and foot squires, halberds in the back, and looks like just spears with the Fey Enchantress, I think, or Prophetess with Lore of Life. So what does he have? Yeah, just going really cheap just with Earthblood. I mean, the Prophetess with Lore of Life costs like nothing. So a decent little infantry force, very, very wide, very infantry heavy. Should be interesting to see how it pans out. For the forces of the Dawi and Zardar Total War here, he does have a front line of Miners, Longbeards in reserve, 3 groups of Thunderers, and in the back he does have Longbeards and a Rune Lord. So yeah, pretty, standard dwarf army using chaff in the front with some supporting units and then, of course, big guns. Rune Lord has Rune of Wrath and Ruin. For the forces of Falcon, he's going to be going with a traditional heavy cav Bretonnia. He does have the Fey Enchantress and 2 Grail Knights. So Grail Knights, there's not any like Buna effects here, so they're going to be pretty damn strong. I mean, these guys are just going to straight up get in there. I mean, they have a charge bonus of 78, and Lance Formation, it's like in the 90s. So the Grail Knights could do a lot of work. Granted, there's plenty of spears and halberds to fend them off, so it's really going to come down to the micro Falcon in that respect. Aside from that, he's got Peasant Bowmen, a couple of spears in the flanks, some peasant mobs, because like most of his gold when you have 6,200 is going to be poured into Grail Knights here. So that's going to be pretty good and tasty. It's going to be good and tasty. And I'll let him know. Start when ready. Oh, there was an update earlier. Okay. Okay. It is time. Yeah, I don't know. I actually like the armies quite a bit for both players. I mean, I think that this army is yeah, the Foot Squires are going to be really good. I mean, that Dwarf line is going to buckle pretty fast, and the fact that there's no good target for the Thunders is really nice. There's no cav for Bretonia. It's just a super wide infantry army with a very cheap Prophetess. So it has some pretty damn good answers. The Foot Squires are going to have to, advance over there pretty quick. You can see that the army formation is going to be shifting to intercept Malekith on his Velociraptor. Of course, brings some pretty good armor piercing. He can easily kill a Rune Lord. He's going to be pretty good against Enchantress too if he can catch her. And yeah, it's just going to be, can this Dwarf Thunder line really pay for itself? I feel like it's going to be tough. This is a very, very thick army. Now, something that's going to be very important here for the forces of the Dark Elves and the Bretonians is engaging as one. Because the Bretonian army kind of is very top-loaded over here, and the Grail Knights might be able to start picking apart this very weak peasant formation with some spears. And you can see here that Falcon is going to be coming in to butter that bread with the Fey Enchantress. These peasants are like, my lord! They're just running for the trees, which is a good choice. But those knights are coming in with the full chub. These peasant mobs going to be sacrificed to the gods. And here you go. It's always a little bit sad, right? These are some brave peasants. Look at these guys. Just charging into a full lance. Oh my god, with pitchforks and stuff. That's pretty depressing, actually. But the peasants just getting ravaged, just charged down, but they're only 100 gold. So it's really, at the very least, they are buying time for the Bretonians to reposition the rest of their force to get some spears and some other, better units over here to kind of fight. These peasants are already shaken, but look at those peasants fighting long and hard against those Grail Knights. So they haven't made contact yet. Their rakes and their pitchforks, they actually did a little damage. Look at the Grail Knights. They took like 100 damage off those guys. That's something. Anyways, the rest of the Bretonians are just kind of collapsing inward on the dwarf formation, getting ready to party, and it's going to be a messy fight for sure. The Grail Knights in the back have cleaned up the peasants, so might as well take the free kills and free gold wherever you can, right? But now there's a pretty healthy defensive formation here for Janet and Shetland. They've moved the Dreadspears and some of these men-at-arms and other troops here, so it's not going to be as easy for the Knights. Now, the Knights might come down for a charge here on the flank. These Grail Knights are going to be charging the spears, it looks like, with the Dreadspears. So Falcon actually pulls them out of position and makes them unbraced, and then he charges them again with the other Grail Knights, which is a very good play, because they're not going to have their charge defense. But yeah, they're going to be able to kind of take that relatively well. The Fey Enchantress has engaged here. She's taken a little bit of damage from the Corsairs, but a fat, juicy charge coming down from the Grail Knights. Beautiful stuff, tearing apart this Dark Elf formation, and the other faction doesn't really have too many mobile options to kind of fight this style of play. A Soul Stealer would be very nice. Shield of Thorns, of course, going down to help out, and just great cycle charging so far. So the rest of the forces are about to engage. The Dreadspears and the Bretonian Foot Squires are going to be collapsing on this formation. But this is really the name of the game so far. The Bretonian Knights fighting pretty hard here, but the Soul Stealer has gone down from Malekith, and Falcon actually makes a small mistake and lets his Lord take a lot of damage, but he does, of course, have Earth Blood and a lot of healing, and it looks like a Chill Wind coming down from Malekith is going to be dropping some slows. Shetland Apache also pulling up the Beastslayers of Bastion, who do, of course, have very good anti-large, and a nice just kind of rear charge coming in here from the Grail Knights, just getting back into the rear of these Blackheart Corsairs. Malekith is also chasing them. Malekith is doing a ton of damage to the Fey Enchantress. He is also supported by some spears, so he's not going to be alone against these Grail Knights. And the Grail Knights are actually taking a lot of damage. These ones are at 31 models. They've taken quite a beating. The other ones over here are at 35 models. So Falcon, unfortunately, a little bit trapped up here. Some of the Grail Knights being dragged down by the Dreadspears and some of these other units. So that's tough. Darth Malekith is doing his work. Janet's doing a very, very good job hunting down Falcon's Fey Enchantress, staying on top of her, and forcing the Grail Knights into this pit fight. And now you can see that the bounce of power is, I don't know. Yeah, the bounce of power is definitely in the favor of Janet on occasion and Shetland Apache right now. The Bretonian forces getting in. The Harganeth Executioners collapsing on this flank, but they did take a lot of fire from the Thunders on the approach. The Bretonian Halberds just getting shot, just domed by these guys, but they move forward for the Lady, and they're going to be able to finish off Thunders. They actually have really good armor piercing. So the Dwarves and the Bretonians, the Bretonians and the Dark Elves pouring through. The Foot Squires from Shetland Apache getting in there, just chasing back into these Thunders. And it's looking like a pretty compromised position. There's just so much coming in. A very wide army here from Zardar, or from Shetland and Janet on occasion. And Darth Malekith just doing a great job on his Velociraptor. The Grail Knights are very, very beat up. But Falcon has been able to kind of restabilize himself, and with effective micro, he should be able to claw his way back into the game here. Fey Enchantress is near her healing cap, and it looks like an Awakening of the Wood is going to be going down from the Prophetess Floor of Life, which does slow these guys. So they're going to be at 39 speed right now, definitely moving a little bit slower than they normally do. But yeah, just the tide. It's just like a Bretonian tide, just moving through with the Dark Elf support. Darth Malekith a little bit tied up in Longbeards, which is not where he wants to be, and another fat Bretonian charge coming in. But there are the Beastlayers of Bastion here for Shetland Apache, so they should be able to kind of ward them off in sustained combat. Now the Thunderers are trying to kind of hold back this this swarm, but the Harganeth Executioners have 100 kills. Foot Squires are everywhere. There's Dread Spears, there's Men-at-Arms with Polearms getting the effect of a fat Earthblood. And the Dwarven back line is actually, they might be able to hold. Zardar's doing a pretty good job with his Longbeards, but yeah, a lot of these Thunders are going to be, getting chased down now. You can see Shetland Apache's going to be grabbing spears and collapsing, and these Archers are pretty much offline for Felcon. But yeah, it's just a pit fight, just a straight up grind. I mean, very, very evenly matched between these two teams here. So Darth Malekith is fighting in the front line again against these Grail Knights who do have the favor of the Fae. Now let's look at the model count here. We have 26 on these bad boys, and it looks like these Bretonnian Knights do have 25 over there. But they're still able to get some really good rear charges, which actually allow the Miners to break these Spearmen at Arms, push through. Foot Squires for Shetland Apache still fighting. Of course, Darth Malekith is on the hunt, but the Fae Enchantress has healed. And this just like hammering charge coming in from the Grail Knights doing great work. And on top of that, Shetland Apache doing a very good job keeping these Thunders relatively safe. But at this point, there's only so many defensive units he has over here. Malekith gets a really good Gaze of Malice. Oh, not so good actually. Oh, he tore up his own troops. The timing a little bit off there. Could have been great. But the Dread Spears are chasing the Thunders. These Thunders are offline, but he's able to kind of restabilize them and get Crossfire. The Thunder is doing some very, very good work. And you can see here that the Rune Magic is really punishing the Harganeth Executioners and these other troops as they get through. So Shetland, of course, or Zardar, I mean, I keep getting it backwards. I'm so used to Shetland playing Dwarves. But Zardar Total War doing a very good job kind of stabilizing his back line here and just shooting in and providing that nice cover fire here for the Bretonnian Knights, who Felcon is still kept alive somehow. I mean, Grail Knights have pretty much impeccable leadership. So the forces of Zardar and Felcon look to be stabilizing this game a little bit, just kind of dragging the other wider army through the mud. Malekith trying his best to kind of chase things down here, but the Bounce of Power is just kind of creeping in the middle, a little bit actually in the favor of Zardar and Felcon right now, and this is going to make it even worse. That massive Thunder Fire, and look at this. Beautiful play here by Zardar Total War. He actually fanned out all of his forces and made it so that like if you compromise one, the other two are going to be shooting you. This is like just Dwarf Play 101, just great stuff. And they're going to be shooting anything that comes in range, and now like any single infantry that gets even close to these Thunders is going to be heavily focused on by that Thunder Fire. Some Longbeards still fighting against Foot Squires, not the best engagement for them, but you got to do what you got to do. And these Foot Squires are going to be advancing, but they're going to be getting Last Samurai horribly hard by these Thunders right here. And Felcon still riding dirty with these Grail Knights. 150 kills and 174 on these Grail Knights of Bretonnia. And they're just bouncing around, just hitting everything they can. A very nice Soul Stealer coming in here from Janet on occasion, hitting those guys and driving them back. But man, this is just some beautiful micro for sure. And look at this. This kill box here from Zardar is just masterful. I mean, this is... If Malekith keeps chasing, he's just going to get just gunned down. I mean, you can see right there, you can see the 3 red arrows going onto Malekith. All that Dwarf Fire is going to be switching onto him, and the Grail Knights are still going strong. So over here, let's take a look at what's left for Janet and Shetland. Over here in the back, you can see Shetland Apache actually has lost his Prophetess. Somehow she got surrounded by Longbeards. I'm not sure that happened, and she's going to be going down pretty quick. I mean, yeah, she's taking a beating for sure. She's at the very least going to be breaking. Now, Shetland and Janet do have some reinforcements that could potentially rescue that position. But it looks like the Grail Knights are still just grinding. 186 kills. God damn, that's juicy. Now remember, a lot of that was on the peasants, so it's not necessarily going to be super reflective of their performance. These Grail Knights are offline, so Felcon has pretty much lost one major element of his army, but it's certainly paid its dues. His micro has been very good. And the Fae Enchantress is still alive, which is going to be super crucial. And the Prophetess with Lore of Life might be able to stabilize here. Oh man, these Longbeards are just beating the brakes off these guys, just holding hard and just allowing this to go. And the Fae Enchantress is going to charge in to really lend her magic to that battle. And the Thunders, I think, are just doing it. I mean, geez, these Dawi are just doing so much work. Just beautiful play coming in here from Zardar. Both of these players are just on point today. I mean, this Dwarf play here, he was able to hold that entire flank by himself while Felcon was kind of fighting over here. So it looks like the Fae Enchantress is able to finish off that Lord right there. The remnants of the Grail Knights pulling back here, and the Fae Enchantress pulling back. Darth Malekith trying, but the Bounce of Power is just going to be massively in the favor of Zardar and Felcon. So what a masterclass of 2v2 play today. They're definitely going to be a tough team to beat. I don't know if they've been practicing together, but they're very coordinated, and that was quite a game. Close fight indeed. But that's going to be it. Zardar, Total War, and Felcon sweeping the final series with a 3-0. And remember, guys, make sure to check out the channels of all the individuals competing. Zardar Total War has a great channel. He actually does a lot of legendary campaigns and multiplayer as well. He's a very solid dude. And yeah, and great stuff. Janet on occasion as well. I'll make sure to have links to all their channels. That's going to be it. So that's a 3-0 sweep for Hityroi, which I know I'm mangling the name, so my sincere apologies. I promise I'll get it right for next time. And that's going to be it. So well played, guys. That's the tournament for today. Let me say well played, well played. Sorry. Try harding is best. I prefer that. GG. Amazing games. Hey, you got to give it to Janet and Shetland. They put up a goddamn great fight. Like they did. Their builds were great. One of the highlights of my tournament today was actually seeing Janet's Skaven play in the first game, and then also seeing their build with the Dinosaur Death Star, like using Jabba. That was so much fun with the Bastiladons. So, yeah. That was great. That was a great series of games. Misha is also dropping a link to Discord in chat for anyone who wants to join the Discord channel. Make sure to catch that. And that's going to be it. We were trying hard, you bastard. All right. That's it for today, guys. All right. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for joining. That's going to be all she wrote for today. I'm going to be going and just getting some food, relaxing a little bit, doing my thing. I'm sorry, Duncan. I have to leave. I have to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And Sozek saying they got what they deserve. Oh my God. But firstly, I want to go over the donations. So Sid, thank you for the donation of the 200 SEK. Fly on Bread for the 5. Jason, Denny with multiple donations. Thank you so much, man. Cody Bear, Alex Verall, William H. McCoy, Jason Denny again, Mark Brugman, Fahad, Asan. We got Ben Tyler. Big special thanks to Ben Tyler for the fat, chubby $100 donation. God damn. Alexander Marsh, Professor Pipes up in here. Thank you for the 5. Please nerf. Falcon, that's funny. Technical Cultist, Ryan Henry, yes. Stefan Bridges, Philip, Jason Denny again, Salty Saxon, Nico Mueller, and then last but not least, we also have the donation on PayPal from Brendan. So thank you guys so much for joining. We're going to play you guys out with some music as we do transition here. Just so anyone watching back doesn't, spoil the ending per se. I think that's going to be best. So guys, thank you so much. That was a blast. I had a good ass time. Next weekend, next Saturday is going to be the Eternal Challenger League Grand Finals. We have 8 competitors. If you haven't seen the trailer, go check it out. If you want to see who's playing, get to know a little bit about them and all that. So guys, enjoy the Super Bowl for any of you guys who are going to watch it. I'm probably just going to go play 40K, which is the way to do it. Zardar, your Thunder play was on fire, dude. You did such a great job, dude. It was solid. You and Falcon did an amazing job today. So great ass work, too. Great ass work. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Let me get some music to kind of play us out here, and we will call it a day. Cheers, guys.